The Horrible Gamers podcast may contain content not suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Horrible Gamers Podcast, show number 306, being recorded on May the 9th, 2020. I'm one of your hosts, Jesus Gonzalez, and the Jesus Box Out today. I'm joined by my friend from the West Coast, the Best Coast, Gunny Chief, Henry Merrill. Welcome, Gunny, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, good evening.
Howdy.
How are things?
Good afternoon, Gunny. Afternoon still, Gunny, not evening.
Whoa, it's still light outside.
Evening is past 6, Gunny. Still
That's
before
right,
that.
West Coast, Best Coast.
That's right. And from Little Ohio, eating all the corn, the Mayo. Steve is back. Welcome back, Mayo. Welcome.
What's up? All the corn, huh?
All the corn. I don't know what else to say. I think you guys only have corn, or I don't know what the fuck. What's Ohio known for?
I think you just got Corona still on your mind too much, and you're just associating corn, Corona, and you're trying to put some things together over here and accuse us of things.
Bros.
Maybe. And from special land, special podcast guest from that one country to the north, not maybe the North Pole, pretty close to it. He does voice acting, I hear, but I think he does the same voice for everything. I'm pretty sure he does the same voice for everything. He's known for being on the No Sleep podcast and the Video Game Outsiders. Welcome to our special guest. Oh, and Zombiecast. Welcome to our special guest, Matt Bradford. Welcome, Matt McFly. Welcome.
Thanks. I'm from America's Hat. That's what we call ourselves up here.
Okay. Welcome. Woo!
You know, I think this is the first time I've heard a plug for Matt without the Guinness Book of World Records for video games thrown in there also.
Oh, that's right. I sent you my whole credentials. I sent you what my agent wants you to read at the top of the show. So you want to do the thing over again?
List off all your video game credentials. He's known for a game where he drowns a lot. And he's underwater swimming. You can find this game on Steam. I don't know if it's on anything else. Maybe it is. I don't know.
It's on PS4 now and Xbox.
Okay, there you go. Debris. Go play Debris, guys.
All
Woo!
right, I'm good. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Later. Good plug.
Thanks for coming on, Matt. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us on Twitter @ Horrible Gamers. Leave us a review on iTunes, all that good shit. Thumbs up on Stitcher. Join our group, Horrible Gamers Podcast Community on Facebook. We also have a Discord server and all that good stuff. We have a page on Facebook as well you can like. Quick shout out to our Patreon members over at patreon.com/Horrible Gamers. Support the show with the monies like Adam Sunday, Alan Maybe H for Howard, Bill Garner II, Brandon Willier, Brian Capessa, Chad, Commandalorian, Evan Tanaka, Henley M, Jesse Kraft, John Jerome, Jonathan Big D, Haw, M Polo, MacMod, Native Lives Matter, Nipron Pork Chapu, Robbie Wheat, Robert Noble, our newest Patreon this month. Thank you, Robert, for joining. Sean Petcherek. Thank you, Sean, for being a Patreon machine. Steve Willier, also known as the Mayo. Thank you, Mayo. And Vader Holler. Woo! Thanks for being Patreon machines to all of you. We love you. All right. You want to go listen to podcasts on Stitcher? You can sign up for a premium account over at Stitcher.com/premium. When you sign up, use promo code Horrible Gamers, all caps, no spaces, to get yourself a free month of Stitcher Premium when you sign up for a year or a monthly subscription. We don't care. Get yourself a free month. Promo code Horrible Gamers. Go ahead, Matt. Go get yourself a free month of Stitcher. Go.
No, I'm good.
And go buy some HGP gear over at Redbubble. You can search in the Redbubble store for Horrible Gamers. Find our gear. You see a guy wearing our shirt, go buy yourself a nice block or some socks or an iPad dock or something. Go buy yourself stuff over at Redbubble from the Horrible Gamer store. Thank you. Shout out to Following Twistix for the intro to the podcast special remix song, and shout out to Brooke for free for the 9-hour outro song of the podcast, and shout out to Ricky Alfares for lending us his music for the podcast, as well as MechMod. Thank you guys for lending your music to the podcast. Anyways, let's talk about what we've been playing this week, gentlemen. Let's talk about games. Hey guys. So, I played a game this week, Gunny. Gunny, you're muted, but I played a game this week, Gunny.
Oh, okay. What is it? I'm over here talking to myself. Is it?
Did
you get a platinum gun?
Oh no more platinum guns. So, let's talk about Call of Duty. I'm playing it. It's okay. Whatever.
Jesus! You ruined that game for me. You know that?
Why?
Because now, after last week's episode, right? I go to play on Sunday, and I go to aim down sight, and guess what I'm looking for?
Oh no!
What?
The fuzzy background, the bad textures.
Now that he mentioned it,
what
now
is
you
all
see
this
it.
stuff? And now I'm seeing it. And I
You're seeing
can't
it,
unsee
right?
it now that I see it.
Yeah, now that you see it, yeah. I see it all the time now too. It's kind of annoying. I don't know. But anyways, Call of Duty still going good. Playing some shit over there, getting gold guns, all that good stuff. I played a little bit of Warzone last night with Brink and Pigeon, and it was all right. I don't know.
That
Something
game's
about
been
Call
around
of Duty.
forever, hasn't it?
What?
Warzone? Yeah.
That's fairly still
kind of
relevant.
new, I guess.
No, wait. What am I talking about then? What's the one on like PS4?
Blackout.
It probably is Warzone. I do see that on the PS4.
Well,
Maybe.
I know they have like a free one. Well, you could download Warzone for free, which is the Battle Royale, and then Call of Duty separate or whatever. But
I'm thinking
yeah.
of something completely different then. Okay.
yeah,
Sorry.
But anyways, Call of Duty still good, still fun. I'm hoping they bring out some new maps or something. I'm getting tired of these maps. Kind of tired.
There
of
is a
them.
news article regarding that.
Yes, there
that we'll
is
read later.
actually.
Okay, well that's good. Glad to hear there's a news article regarding that, guys. Thank you for reading my mind.
Trying to keep the hype
And
going.
what else did I play this week? Oh, speaking of shooters, I actually downloaded a VR shooter this week. I was playing it today. It's called War Dust or Sawdust or Warzone. What the fuck's it called? Dust War?
It has
War Dust?
and guns.
It has war in the name as the beginning of the title, and then it has dust, I think, next to it. War Dust. It is a VR first-person shooter. It's a lot like Battlefield, guys. Have you ever played Battlefield with the big scale battles? You got the checkpoints you got to capture on the map, like Conquest.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all in VR, which is pretty cool. And this is something that John on VGO would be into, Matt, for sure. Like it's pretty much just Battlefield, but in VR. With like it's kind of weird though, because like John says on VGO, he said like when you're in VR, you always got those weird janky like body physics and shit. You know, like the people are twisting their bodies weirdly. And this is the same thing. Like today, I was standing there trying to figure out how to like run forward, right? And I'm like, how the fuck do you run forward? And it's like Pavlov Mayo, where the only way to run forward is to put your gun down. Like you have to like put your hands down, lower your weapon to
be able to run.
Yeah, to have your guy run forward or whatever. And that was
You
fucking
can't run
weird
with
for
your
me.
weapon forward? Doesn't that...
Like you cannot run with your gun raised. You can't run. You have to lower your weapon. And then your
it basically makes you kind of walk as your gun raised, so it's almost acting like you're aiming down sights. So if your gun is like above your waist, it's gonna think you're walking, and you don't want an AADS. And if it's pointed downward, it thinks you're running, so then your character will move around faster. Is kind of what they've been doing.
It's
Do you
fucking
get
weird.
sick in games like that though? Like I find games at full VR motion make me kind of woozy for some reason.
Not really. No, I got pretty used to the VR quickly. I don't have any problems with it.
I do. I did on the game called Boneworks. That one really bothered me. That was like a big title on Steam when it first came out, and everybody was raving about it. And there was a lot of puzzle solving and crossing like platforms, but there was like elevation to those platforms, and you have to kind of look down to make sure you're walking in a straight path, or you could fall off the platform. And I think that combination of looking down and moving forward at the same time eventually got to me. And I tried doing the sitting down position and standing up and playing it.
Yeah.
And after maybe 45 minutes of playing, I had to sit and lay down for like an hour and a half because I just felt really woozy afterwards and stuff. And I actually returned that game. I was like, I'm not even going to play this. And it actually discouraged me from buying Half-Life Alyx. I still haven't bought that one because it's something similar, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that motion now.
But Half-Life Alyx though isn't platforming, Mayo. It's a lot of just shooting, going down hallways and sneaking around.
Yeah, teleporting too, right? That's how you move in that. You teleport.
You can choose to walk or teleport. Okay. I have the walking enabled, but she does walk really slow. And the reason they have it where you're like, in VR, almost every game, when you enable walking, is set to like the slowest speed because they don't want you to get motion sickness. If you move too fast in the game, then it tricks your brain into like fucking thinking, "Whoa, sick. I'm moving too fast." Yeah, like what the hell's going on? And then it makes you feel ill. So like in Borderlands, I remember when I played Borderlands in VR on the PSVR, you can enable that where they switched it to like from the teleporting to like enable walking. And I tried to do the walking, but it was set to really slow speed. And then when I turned it up all the way, it felt good. But then after a while, like my body started feeling weird. Like I started feeling sick, and I'm like, "Whoa, what the hell?" Yeah. And it's because your brain gets confused. It's like, "What the hell? You're not moving, but in the game you're moving." Like what the hell?
Well, because your brain, because the science is that your brain is seeing moving images. It feels like you're moving it, so it thinks you're poison because your body's still, but you're seeing images like you're moving, so it thinks you're poison and it makes you throw up. That's the whole science behind it.
Kind of like when you're drunk as fuck and everything's spinning around you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's put it in dumb terms here. Come on, Matt. Let our listeners understand the hell you mean.
Like America after you drink your Budweisers.
But yeah, War Dust is a fun game, and actually, I was really surprised to find that they actually have vehicles in the game, just like Battlefield. So they have like transport helicopters and boats and jeeps and tanks, and you can actually like run up to these vehicles, like run up to a tank, and if nobody's in it, you could fucking jump in it and start driving the tank around, and like one guy is like in the tank driving, the other guy's on the turret shooting. Or like, for example, if you're in a helicopter, you get in the pilot seat and you're the fucking pilot of the helicopter, and you have to take off and you have to fly the helicopter, and somebody can jump in the back and you can be like transporting people into the battlefield and dropping them off and flying around support, and they got like all kinds of, I saw some jets in the game. So I saw some jets flying by and dropping bombs on objectives, but I don't know if that's like an airstrike somebody called in from the ground, like as a kill streak or something, or like if somebody's flying a jet around the map, because that would be fucking crazy. Because that jet was fucking flying, like that thing was going fast, and they just dropped bombs on this flag we were defending, and like the whole fucking map started blowing up, and it was fucking nuts. What's really cool about this game too, being on Steam, it does have mod support. So one of the mods that I saw in there that I was trying to play but I couldn't was a Wake Island map. So if you guys know what Wake Island is, it's a map from Battlefield 1942, which are kind of like how the graphics look in this game. They don't look the greatest, even like on the maximum setting. I think it goes from like beautiful to like fantastic settings, and I put it on fantastic, and the graphics they don't look the greatest. They look nice, but not, like they look old still. It's VR, like it's VR, and like it's a studio that doesn't have a big budget. You can tell they don't have a big budget, or they're not backed by a big AAA developer or publisher. So they gotta do what they can. But I mean, they did an okay job with this game, War Dust. And what's really cool was every match that I got into, it was full. The lobbies were like 32 versus 32. That's the player count or whatever. And it's just like Battlefield, guys. So think of Conquest. You have a squad when you spawn into the game. Like when you get into a match, you pick a team. You pick one is called like the Coalition. The other one's called the Opposition, or whatever the fuck they're called. and then you pick a side, and then you can see the roster filling up on each side. And then when you pick a side, it automatically puts you into a squad, and it'll say your name, and then it'll say like the 3 other people in your squad. And just like Battlefield, you can spawn on a flag that you've captured, or you can spawn on your squad mate if they're not under fire or whatever. And but yeah, in VR, like playing a shooter like Battlefield or Call of Duty, it's always different in VR, man, because you get shot and you have no idea. You're like
no spatial awareness.
Yeah, like it's so hard to like in the real war. It would be so fucking hard to be surrounded by like 15 other fucking enemies and just being shot at from any direction. Like, how the fuck do you keep track of where you're getting shot from? Because you got fucking explosions going off, you know, your friends running around and shit. And then this game is hard, man, because you got like I said, there's always these people running around waving their arms and shit and like dancing and doing the robot. And then you got motherfuckers playing all serious. But then next thing you know, your character just falls to the ground. And it's like, oh, you were killed by this player from 300 meters out. Like 300 fucking meters. What did he shoot me with? And then it'll be like, oh, he had a sniper rifle. And it's like, oh, no wonder. But it's fucking difficult to like tell where they even shot you from because it doesn't give you a kill cam. So you don't even get a kill cam to find out where they were hiding or whatever to go get your revenge. You just got to kind of deal with it.
What VR setup do you have?
I have the Oculus Rift S.
Oculus Rift S.
Yes, good stuff.
Oculus Rift S. And you're happy with it?
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's a step up from the Quest. So I know I know, Matt, that you've been looking into VR for PC and shit, but the Quest is pretty much a standalone. The Rift S requires a PC or whatever. So I know you have a PC, Matt. So if I were you, I would just go with the Rift S.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good headset. I'm not happy with it. Like, there's a lot of content on there. I was in the store today because, like I said, I haven't, like VR is a weird thing where you play it a lot and then all of a sudden you fall off of it for a bit and then you go back to it. I know you've experienced that with the VR, man. With your PSVR, right? You play it for like a week or two straight and then you kind of get like tired of it and you put it away and you're like, oh, I'll play it again sometime. And then you kind of forget about it. Then you go back to it and you're like, whoa, everything's amazing. Fun. The best thing ever.
I'm almost at that point again. My PSVR has been collecting dust, but I know like once I was into it in the past, like it was all I played because it's such a unique experience. But it's a weird. There's like mental barriers to the headset's over there. I've got to get it and adjust it and clean the lenses. And readjust the camera. It's only gonna take 5 minutes, but it's that. It's that or just pop on a game I've been playing, right?
The nice thing about the Oculus is I know it's probably close to the PSVR, but it's only one cable and it splits into two, and it just has a display port and a USB. So you just plug it in. It's probably probably a 20 foot cord.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking long, 15 feet maybe.
It's a USB connection? I guess there's no connection then. Yeah.
And then that's all it is. When you put it on, it has a sensor and it has a microphone and headset built into it for audio. So everything is right there for you. And you literally can launch all your games right inside it, so you don't have to do anything. I mean, it's really easy to set up and clean. Mine just hangs on the side of my desk. I went to Menards, which is like a home improvement store, and bought big coat hooks. And basically, I just screwed them into the side of my desk, and I hang it on the corner there, and I hang the controllers beside it. I just kind of coil the cord up, and it's all nice and neat until I'm ready to get it out. And it takes like 30 seconds to get out and get it ready.
In terms of setup, is it just plug and play? If it's USB, is it just
pretty much? Yeah, you plug it in, and then your PC will detect that it plugged in a new device. It'll switch over the microphone to that. And then what's really cool is even if you don't have the Oculus app open, like as soon as you put on the headset, it detects that you put it on, and then it opens up the app for you on your PC. So like it just launches the Oculus Store real quick. And
it also has a connection with Steam, and it will launch Steam VR for you. So if you have VR titles in your Steam library, you can actually play those right out of the headset too. So you can launch any game right out of it as long as it's installed on your PC.
And as soon as you've played it, say like you've launched a game from the Steam VR store, and next time you launch the Oculus app, it automatically knows that you have that game in your library. So it just puts it in your library right there in the Oculus. You don't even have to launch Steam anymore. You can just be like, hey, I want to play this game, and it just launches it for you because it knows you already own it. So it's pretty cool the way it works. It kind of just works. Once you set it up, it's just done, it just works. And what's really cool, once you set up, like say you're like in this room that I have here, I've already set up the boundaries of like the edge of like where I can't go past, like it warns me if I go past a certain area. So I don't bang into the wall or whatever. So every time, even if I unplug it and replug it back in, every time I plug it in, the software knows, like, hey, he's in the same room. These are his boundaries, and it just automatically has him set up like that always. So it's pretty smart.
In terms of sorry, I know we're gearing in a VR stuff. But so because my office isn't huge, I'd probably do a lot of just sitting down gaming, but I'd still want the VR experience. Do a lot of games cater to that, or do I have to prepare to get a whole big room, run around and shit?
Definitely, I would say almost every single game that I've ever played on the VR is like now even the new ones like The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and Half-Life Alexa, and even this Warzone game or War Dust or whatever. They all have like a sitting option. It's just like in the menu, like you can go to the settings real quick. And like every VR game, I always recommend when you launch it, go into the settings real quick to like make sure you have your like preferences enabled. So like for me, I don't like the snap turning where like the camera like blacks out and it loads up like a new scene. Like every time you turn like blacks out. I like it to be smooth, right? Like if I'm turning in real life, like it's just smooth. And so like every time you launch a VR game, I would recommend going to the settings and going to the mobility or whatever settings, and then just put that you're sitting, and that way it knows you're sitting down or whatever. But yeah, it works out pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, really. I mean, it's easy to get it all going.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways,
what else have you played,
now.
Jesus?
I played some more games this week, guys. I actually played today some FTL. And like Mayo, I've died probably like 7 times in the first hour.
That game is so hard, but it's so satisfying.
It is so fucking hard. Like the furthest I got was to like the 3rd system or whatever. And then I had like a crew, like an alien guy, like join my crew. I had like 5 people in my crew. But then I forgot to pay attention to my shields or my health or my hull or whatever. And I got blown up by some fucking random spaceship that was attacking me. No, I got greedy is what I did. I like ran across this spaceship and it said like, hey, this spaceship is it's turned off right now. The AI is off or whatever. Do you want to like attack it and try to like steal these coordinates or whatever from inside it or whatever to get some military equipment? Or do you want to just like skip it and keep moving on? And I was like, attack! And that thing fucked me up. It fucked me up, Mayo. And then I had to restart.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I've had that game where I've gotten really close to the end and I'll have a really OP setup. I'm like, oh, I'm really confident. This is really great. And my ship, I have a strategy. Everything is working great. I'm tearing every ship I come up to apart, right? And all of a sudden, you get this ship where they say, they beam aboard your ship and they start killing all your people. Yep. You know how I'm talking about? And that's like the one weakness I had. I had everything like super OP on my ship. And I'm looking great. And all of a sudden I run across this little ship and they start beaming people on my ship and start killing all my people. Yep. And I died. I'm like, I can't believe I died.
That happened to me too on the other one where I had like a bunch of people on my crew and then all of a sudden they beamed 3 people into my weapons room. So my one guy that's in the weapons room, he's getting attacked by the 3 aliens or whatever. And it's like, holy shit. So I sent the rest of my crew in there. And by the time the rest of my crew got in there to help him, he was dead. And then they start killing off my other crew members. And then the ship starts catching on fire on certain rooms. And then the oxygen room goes down. And then the shield room goes down. And then I'm getting blown up. And it's fucking hard. I'm talking about FTL here, Gunny.
Okay, I haven't played that yet.
It's a great game. It's available on Game Pass. It's on Steam and all that. It's been on Steam forever, but it's now available on Game Pass,
for a long time.
Which is where I'm playing it. And what's interesting, man, when I played it under your game sharing on Steam, it let me choose different configurations of the ship. Like it let me choose like an A, B, C option. Yeah. It let me choose different styles. On the Game Pass version, it doesn't. And like it's like a fresh game. Like it's like, no, motherfucker, really? Like you must beat this shit to like unlock the other configurations. Like you got to beat it at least once.
Huh. That's interesting because mine had that available right away. And that game I remember telling you guys a while back, I had a mod at one point in time for that game, and I can't remember if it was Star Trek ships, and you had like the Enterprise and stuff like that. It was really cool. But I would just suggest, I don't know if you are or not, but play the game on easy first. That's what everybody says.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to do. Dude, even on easy though, man.
Which game are we talking about? Sorry, I just came back.
FTL.
Yeah.
FTL, man.
Faster Than Light.
Oh, Fast and Light. Yeah. That's a crazy hard game.
Yeah, it's so fucking hard. Like I said, even playing it on easy, man, I keep dying and
play it. I should play it on baby mode. That's what you're saying.
Fuck you, Gunny. Fuck you.
I think there's a get good mode that you can try too.
Oh, fuck off, Matt. You fucking trolling me, motherfucker.
Look, I can do different backgrounds now.
I can
for
see
some
that.
reason.
Oh,
You got
cool.
fucking apocalyptic background over there.
I've made it all the way to the last boss
like
in that game,
COVID
and you
19.
have to fight
Looks like 2021.
this mothership. It's a real pain in the butt. Like
Oh,
it's really, really hard.
Yeah, so I'll keep playing it. It's just a really cool game. Like I love the music in it, and I was having a blast today playing it before the show here. Like I was just sitting there, and I would die, and I would just automatically restart, motherfucker, and then restart, and then go at it again, and then restart again. And I like how every time you restart, it's like the galaxy you're in or whatever the fuck. I don't know if it's a galaxy or what the fuck are they called, like star system that you're in. They're different every single time. You know, like sometimes you start off in an easy one, or sometimes you start off in a really hard one. So I really enjoy that about the game, and it's a blast. It was a fucking blast playing that shit.
What do you think comparing this game to is it Bomb Squad, the Xbox game?
Oh, Bomber Crew?
Bomber Crew. That's
I
what
was
it
just going to ask that question. How
I
do you
love
like...
Bomber Crew way more. Bomber Crew is way better. Bomber Crew is so much fun. Can't even compare the two.
I mean, I know Bomber Crew is a lot newer game than FTL because FTL has been out for probably 5 years.
Bomber Crew is really difficult though, man. Like I tried playing it on the PC once, and like mouse and keyboard, I couldn't do it. I like on the controller for some reason. On the Xbox, I was able to beat it with the controller, but on the PC with the mouse and keyboard, I couldn't fucking do it. I was like, I can't fucking do this. I can't command the guys quick enough to fucking move around this plane or whatever, you know. And I would get killed and blown up, and all my guys would die. But for some reason on the Xbox, I beat it. I don't know how I did though. But yeah, Xbox Master Race.
Yes. Xbox for life.
I hear you there.
Other than that, I played what the fuck else? I downloaded MechWarrior 5. I haven't launched that yet. I look forward to playing that on the Game Pass as well. That's Nico's favorite game of all time. I remember he said it was his favorite game of all time. Best game ever made in his life. Best game he's ever played.
I messaged him right away when I seen it that morning. As soon as I seen it on, I directly messaged him. I'm like, Nico, look what's on Game Pass. After I bought that game, 2 months ago, so we can play.
What else? Besides all that, I haven't played much else. Oh, I played some Forza Horizon 4, Gunny. I was going to tell you that earlier that I played some of that. When you guessed Call of Duty, I was going to really tell you Forza Horizon 4. Playing it on the PC with HDR enabled, everything on super ultra settings, literally everything on ultra settings. The game runs at about 125 frames per second. It's fucking incredible looking. And I was actually having a real good time playing that Battle Royale mode. It's called the Eliminator or whatever. And that's a really cool mode, guys. So it's 64 players, I think. And everyone starts off with the Mini Cooper S. And then you can drive around this circle or whatever, the first area you spawn in, or the circle or the map or whatever. And then there's car drops. So sometimes you'll be driving around the forest or like the hills or whatever. You just drive around this circle and you see like these flares, like the pink flares they have for like the races in the regular campaign. And you fly over to the flares and there'll be you get into the circle or whatever and you press X. I was playing the controller. So you press X on the controller on the Xbox and then it'll be like, boom, like you want to upgrade to the Audi A4 or whatever, and then boom, you upgrade, and then now you're driving a fucking Audi. Or like, hey, you want to upgrade to this new Subaru or whatever, and you press X at the next drop, and you upgrade to a Subaru. But fucking A, man, I was playing the Battle Royale mode, and like some people I'm not even kidding, within like the first minute of the match, there was a guy that upgraded to a fucking Ferrari something. Like he's driving like a fucking Ferrari. I'm in a fucking Mini Cooper. I'm like, how the fuck do I stand a chance if this guy comes up against me? And like you could tell he was destroying people because every time. So like the way you battle in this Battle Royale, and because you're all in cars, you can't kill people. So what you do is, say me and Matt are in this match, and we both start like in the map or whatever. You start at a random spot. You can pick the spot you start at. But everyone starts in the same area, like in this big circle. You can drive over to like the nearest person, which the people start showing up on your mini map if you get a certain distance from them, like a little circle pops up on your mini map, and then you can start heading that direction. Eventually, you'll hit that person or whatever. So say Matt's circle pops up on my thing. I drive over to Matt. What happens is I have to honk my horn when I'm near him, or he does, and it initiates a race right there. Like as soon as we see each other, like honk the horn, a race starts right there, and it gives both of us like a finishing, like this is where you got to reach, like an ending part. You know, like you got to get here before the other player, and it doesn't matter how you get there. You can fucking cut through the forest. You can take the roads.
Just get to the final bit.
You got to just fucking get there. You know what I mean? So it's really cool. Is the other day I had like this monster truck car. It was like, I forget what it like because I beat the first guy that raced me, like this dude in the Mini Cooper, and I was in the Mini Cooper, and I beat this guy because I cut through the forest and he didn't. He almost had me, but I beat him. So then when you beat somebody, you can take their car, like it tells you, do you want that person's car, or do you want to upgrade to this new car? And it tells you what kind of car you're going to upgrade to. So, like, for example, when I beat this guy, I said, do you want to upgrade? Do you want to take his car as a Mini Cooper? And I was like, I have the Mini Cooper. Why the fuck do I want his? But then it said, upgrade to this Top Gear something, something, something. And I was like, whatever, upgrade to that. And it was like a monster truck thing. It was like this it looked like a toy. I was like, this thing's ridiculous. It's like a
You got the Lego car.
It was like it said Top Gear on it, but it was like this like experimental fucking car with like monster truck tires on it and shit. And me and this Mustang came up to me, right, in the forest, and he honked his horn at me. So then the check mark popped up for us to go to because every time you race, it'll try to direct you towards the center of the circle. Like no matter where you're at on the map, the racer usually direct you towards the middle of the circle. So it's like not telling you to race to the edge or whatever. You know, it doesn't want you to get caught in the outside or whatever. So me and this dude were hauling ass, right? And we're like right next to each other. And we're just fucking hauling ass through the forest, you know? And he's in a Mustang and I'm in like this monster truck thing, but I'm keeping up with him because I'm like pretty good off road. But he's hauling ass because he has a fucking badass Mustang GT or whatever. And he's fucking just going super fast and it's fucking intense, you know? The music is playing. And I jump over this fucking hill and I land on the other side. And next thing you know, like right there in front of me is a fucking lake. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm in a monster truck. I could probably drive to this lake.
Do it.
So I did. I started fucking hauling ass through the lake. And he real quick, he knew that he couldn't drive to the lake. He's in a Mustang. So he like hit his brakes real quick. And you could see him like sliding. He hit his brakes. He was like drifting next to me. And he like drifted past in front of me like a fucking movie. Then he like started going around the lake. But I started going through the lake. And I made it about halfway. And my fucking monster truck got stuck. It was just stuck. So I'm like trying to hit reverse, trying to hit forward, trying to turn it, trying to hit reverse. It was fucking stuck. Oh my God. And the next thing you know, like after like a minute, it was like, hey, this guy beat you. You've been eliminated. And then once you're eliminated, you could just automatically put like, I want a rematch. I want like get into another battle royale match. And I'll be like, searching for a new match or whatever, and you get XP and points and all the credits and all that shit for playing the battle royale. Every time you play it, no matter if you lose right away or not, you get like a wheel spin. You know those wheel spins where you get cars or credits or whatever. You get one of those. Sunglasses. Yeah, I got like a new car for that and then some money or whatever. But yeah, it's a fucking cool mode, man. Like that battle royale mode is actually a lot of fun without killing people.
It's been out for quite a while also, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been out for a bit. Yeah,
I haven't fired it up in a while. Like if I do, I usually fire up and play like the Lego Land version.
And and the game looks fucking incredible, dude, on PC. Like I said, running everything on Ultra and such high frame rates. It looks so fucking good. Like how do they get better graphics than that?
No, I think that's like probably one of the best looking racing games. I know that Forza 7, I think it was called Apex or something. It came out for PC. I believe it was free. And
it was a good demo
only came with two maps. And I think the only DLC they had for it were like cars. And I ended up buying those. And man, it just looks amazing on the PC.
Definitely. One thing that I was thinking the whole time though playing this game, even in the Battle Royale, even just driving around the map, just when I got out of the Battle Royale at the end of the game, now I was just driving around the map, hauling ass through the whole map. I was thinking, I couldn't just sit there, but I couldn't help but think the whole time, Microsoft needs to smarten up real quick, right? They need to smarten up This whole map right here. Just tell Playground Games or whatever the fuck they're Underground, whatever the fuck they're called. Tell them, hey, motherfuckers, we want that map. Give us your map, exactly how you rendered it for Forza Horizon 4. The same graphics, just give us that fucking map. We're going to give it to another studio, whatever fucking studio they own, Obsidian, whoever the fuck they just bought, Ninja Theory or something, and tell those motherfuckers, hey, we need you to make an RPG in this map. Because that fucking map looks good for a racing game. And if you could use that map for an RPG, for sure, dude. For fucking sure you could use that map for an RPG. It looks beautiful. Like, it's based in England, like the countryside. They got little towns and cities. You could just change those assets up a little bit, make the town look fucking fantasy or whatever. But other than that, it's a fucking cool looking world, They got animals and shit in the game.
They should probably be making the next Fable game.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, imagine if Fable, the graphics look like this. Like the map looks like this.
I think they will be. I think they're going to show that game in June.
It would be incredible, Matt. It would be incredible.
I believe you.
Yes. That's all I played this week. I look forward to playing more games next week. I don't know what I'm going to play next week. I don't fucking know. Matt, what have you been playing, Matt?
Well, I got to ask you, what game are you talking about? Because I froze before I actually figured out what game you were talking about.
Oh, this recent one was Forza Horizon 4.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, like I was saying. Yeah.
Oh, is it my turn? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Matt.
I'm fiddling with backgrounds here. It's been kind of slow for gaming right now. I'm kind of waiting for Last of Us 2, and I've kept myself away from all the spoilers from Last of Us 2. So,
what do you think about that? What do you think about that whole situation where stupid ass Sony was like, "Oh, we're gonna delay it so everyone can play it, everyone can experience it together," and then they get the whole fucking story leaked, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, guys, well now fucking we're releasing it in June." Sorry, fucking dumbasses. They could have released it earlier.
It didn't make any sense to me at the time because most people have the ability to get it. Either they order it off of Amazon. They were just holding out for the physical people who need to go to a store and get it, which I don't think are a huge section of gamers these days.
No.
Right? They could.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they would cater to them. But
I would even say that.
I guess money talks.
Yeah.
Even if like say you pre-ordered it physical, like say you pre-ordered it physical, Matt. If GameStop or EB Games or whatever called you and said, "Hey, Matt, we can't give you your copy because we're closed," you would have been like, "Okay, cancel my shit, and then I'll go order it online."
There was some
or Amazon.
I feel like there was another reason that we just don't know about. But anyway, so I've been trying to find a game between now and Last of Us 2. I don't want to get too involved, and I found Hitman. I found the old, like the rebooted Hitman, both the first one and the second season, I guess it was, because they released maps like as episodic maps. And I'm in love with this series. Like I knew I kind of liked it, but it's one of those things that it's kind of like flown under the radar for me. But this is I just love the concept of these because it really is. Each level is a huge map, a huge, really detailed map with thousands of people in it. Like you feel like part of a crowd. Mm-hmm. And they let you play it. Like if you dial back all the hints and stuff, they just drop you in, say, here are your targets, figure this shit out.
Yeah, figure out how to get to that motherfucker,
Yeah, but they've also built these worlds so that a lot of scenarios can take shape. You can follow a lot of different storylines. You're supposed to play these levels like 4 or 5 times to get every single storyline that's going on. Yeah. And I love just the sandbox feel of it. Like I just wander around until I overhear a conversation, and that leads me, okay, maybe I'll try this approach, get this costume. And it does kind of make me feel like a badass assassin. I just feel like they put a lot of detail and a lot of thought into these levels. It's really interesting design.
I'm glad you like this game, Matt, because it's one of my favorite series. Hitman literally is like, I fucking love that series. And when they did that one game before this one, I think it was called Absolution.
Absolution, yeah.
I didn't like that one because it took away they you know how in this game, like you said, they drop you off in a map and they tell you go kill these 2 people. Like this guy's a drug lord, and like our client wants him dead. Figure out how to get into his compound and kill him.
Yeah.
So like in the last game in Absolution, it was more linear. It was like a linear mission. Like they had like a story and it was linear. And
but it wasn't a very good story, Jesus.
It wasn't.
Me and Jesus kind of go back and forth on this.
It wasn't a good story.
Hitman fan myself, and
fuck you, guys. I'm more of a Hitman fan than you.
Say it. Absolution was awesome. Yes,
Absolution was trash. How do you call yourself a Hitman fan and like Absolution? Fuck out of here, Gunny. It was a shitty story.
I feel the difference. I played Absolution as well, but this one I do feel like it really is.
It lets you do whatever.
They'll push you in the right direction a little bit if you do your homework, but it really is a lot of surprise, a lot of discovery in this game. Like there's one mission. So I downloaded Hitman 2 first, and then I realized I had no idea what the story was. So I downloaded Hitman 1 to catch up on it.
Yeah.
And then, but one of the levels is like, it's in Italy. This guy's in his compound. He's a golfer. And I was doing all this setup. Then I found an explosive golf ball. I'm like, hell's yeah, I'm going to make it explode by playing golf. So I snuck onto his compound, replaced his golf ball, and then... And it just made me feel so good to discover that way to kill the guy. Yeah. And there's so many of those little discoveries to find in this game.
Hell yeah. Like one of them is to kill this race car driver and her dad.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the one with the race car driver, what I did on that one was I dressed up as a mechanic, and then when she did her pit stop, like I went to go work on her car, and I loosened her tire up or whatever, so then she crashed on one of the turns or whatever and died. And then her dad, the way I killed him was because he's a weapons dealer, like a big weapons contractor or whatever. They make like military weapons or whatever. And he was introducing he was showing off this robot that can like replace a soldier in the battlefield. And he was like, look, this robot can only shoots at targets that we program it to shoot at. Like he's like, I'll prove it by standing in front of it while it shoots these dummies behind me. So and he did the first test, right? And he's like showing off like, hey, look, it didn't shoot me or whatever. And like there's a general there and he's like, oh yeah, that's impressive. But I'm gonna have to see that test run again. So before they run the test again, I went over to the computer and I programmed the robot to kill that guy. Like I showed him a picture of him. So that was his target. So the next time he stands in front of the robot all confident, the fucking robot just shoots him.
You got Elon Musk.
Yeah, funny enough that actual F1 race, But
it's fucking funny, though. It's hilarious how that game is fucking fun.
There's a lot of stuff like that. Like, it's funny because you go through these complicated setups and all of a sudden I'm like, I can just kick a toilet onto this guy from the top floor. All right, I beat him, and just run out of the compound after you're done. But it's just... But no, I really like the creative aspect of Hitman, and I'm really impressed about how they can fill up the screen with people. Like the crowds in the Hitman games are amazing. Like there's hundreds of people that you're going through, and they're not like low polygon people either. These are fully and they're having conversations, so you do feel like you're part of a huge marketplace, and it's really interesting.
There's some really cool settings. Are like there's like one like in India where you're like in this like ghetto part of like India or whatever. It kind of reminds me of that movie that just came out, Extraction on Netflix. You're like in like that movie, and you're walking through like a marketplace, and you have to kill like this drug lord or whatever, and like you have to find out a way to get into the drug lord. And it's like holy fuck, and it's so fucking cool, how you said it, like the game lets you choose how you're gonna kill somebody. And for the most part, I always try to kill people like where it's not even noticeable, like where sometimes it just looks like an accident, We're like, like I'll make that look like an accident, like his seatbelt didn't fasten and he fucking died. Must have been an accident, guys. We don't know how that happened,
But that's the thing, like they discourage full out conflict because if you try to get in gunfights and shit, like very rarely can you get in gunfights and continue your save. Like you got to reload because eventually you're compromised, too many body counts, and you just feel like you just failed the mission, so you got to restart.
Yeah. like there was one time, I don't know if you played this, you probably have played this mission, but where the guy's inside, it reminds me of like Julian Assange, where this guy's in this embassy and he's about to like leak a bunch of information. Yeah, so this guy hires you to kill him or whatever, and you have to find out this way to like a way to get into the embassy, and like for the longest time I couldn't figure out this underground tunnel thing, and then I found the underground tunnel, but then when I killed him, somebody noticed that I shot him. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going all out. I pull out my machine gun and I'm fucking gunning down like all the security guards and shit. And like next thing you know, like I failed the mission because I killed too many people. But another time what happened was I did something where like I tripped the fire alarm or something. So then they were going to evacuate him. So they said like, hey, they're moving him they're moving, like the security team is going to evacuate him. You better get him. And I dressed up like one of the security guards. I was going to evacuate him. So I was standing in the tunnel that these guards were going to run through with this guy that was my target. And as soon as they started running to the tunnel, I just started taking out all the guards and took everybody out in that tunnel. And I was like, yeah, you're all dead, motherfuckers. I'm out of here. That game is so much fun, man.
Yeah, they're all good.
It's good. It's good creativity. So I'm glad I have this game to kind of chew on for the next month until Last of Us 2, because it really begs to just be like replayed and rediscovered and everything. So I don't know if you're looking for, I feel like this is one of those franchises that just never really made it to like the top, like Assassin's Creed level, Call of Duty level.
Yeah, you're right.
Because no one really gets hyped up about a Hitman release, right? But it's pretty consistent. It's lasted so long.
No one but me.
Yeah, and as far as I know, they're still with Square Enix as far as a publisher goes.
No,
I think they kind of re-upped their thing, or they didn't.
No, I think they went by themselves. They used to be owned by Square Enix, and then
I think they divorced.
Yeah, they left. They were like, "Fuck you guys, we're leaving." And they actually raised enough money with that first Hitman game that they said, "We're leaving Square Enix. Like, we bought ourselves out, and we were making our own shit." You know. So this is why they had to release the last two games, like the ones you're playing right now, Matt. Those were released like episodically or whatever. Like they released the first episode and then like a month later the second episode. I think they just didn't have the money to release the full game or make the whole game at once or something. But they did a good job with it.
Like for $70 now, I have like I think 20 Hitman levels and all the multiplayer and all the ghost mode. Like this, there's a ton of content I've got to get through. It's a little intimidating, so I'm pretty happy with it. I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It blew my expectations away. I like the Platinum games, but for some reason, they make Final Fantasy games super annoying to Platinum or like get all the achievements on, because I was looking at the requirements. Now when I play a game, I don't look at trophies before I beat it for the first time, or else it psychs me out. I'm thinking too much about how to get certain trophies, so I just play it normally, and then if I really enjoyed it, I'd go back and platinum it. But this one is like you have to beat it 5 times to get 3 different cutscenes and all of Cloud's dresses or some shit like that. Some weird like weeaboo kind of Japanese anime stuff that people would be obsessed over. But
it's definitely one of those things. What you're saying is where, hey, this is the only game I'm going to play for the next 2 or 3 months, right?
Yeah. If I were on a desert island, maybe, but I think it thinks too highly of itself that it thinks people are going to go back and play the same game like 5 times to get like different cutscenes and stuff. And I guess it is Final Fantasy VII, right? It's got a huge cult following. Maybe some people are, but I've just got to move on. Honestly, and that in Chimera Squad or Chimera Squad, Xbox or XCOM Chimera Squad is the other game I'm playing, and I'm in love with that game. That is my like, because I work from home. Well, everyone does now, but I've been working from home for a long time. That is my like in between work. Like I'll finish a writing assignment, just hop on Chimera Squad for like 2 missions, and yeah.
Tell me about it. Is it, because I haven't seen any Twitch gameplay of it, but I do like XCOM 2.
Oh yeah, I love XCOM 2. I love all the XCOM games. This is XCOM. Like I feel like they could have released this as a full release game. It's got the same depth. It's got the same kind of micro management in the background of your troops and all like the outfitting them, all the research, all the spec ops.
Really,
and stuff
it has
like that.
all that. Like it has like your home base and all that shit.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have like you make your own base. It just has a home base where you can train your people, research stuff like that. But no, not in depth like XCOM 2, where you build out your base, which was a lot of fun. I found that.
So did you get I was going to ask you when you were talking about Final Fantasy, did you get a Nat Plat on that? Is that what you called it?
No Nat Plat. No Nat. By the way, I should clarify. People think I'm saying Matt Plat, which is dumb.
That's what John says, right? Matt Plat.
See, I never thought of it that way. I took it as a Nat Plat, so
yeah,
I caught it right. So
it's a natural platinum. I coined the phrase, so if you hear it in the mainstream media, you know where it comes from. It is where you play a game, and without even trying, when the end credits roll, you get the natural platinum. And I got it once on Sherlock Holmes for I don't know. I was really into it, and the birth of the Nat Plat. And honestly, I don't think anyone else in the world has got a Nat Plat, so If you hear
Sounds
that.
sounds difficult. I think I've
difficult.
different on Steam. They have achievements, and I've gotten a couple of achievements just randomly, and I'm going, "What is this?" I know Dead Cells is one. This is my game. I have 200 hours in Dead Cells, and I've gotten a couple achievements on Steam that are different color. They actually have like a different marking and stuff on them, and they're actually unique
achievements.
And but also too, have you ever played the XCOM? It's an older one. It's called Declassified, and it's like the Bureau, and it's kind of like it's set in like an older era. It's set in actually 1962.
Yeah, I remember when that came out. But that was a weird, different type of XCOM, wasn't it? It was like a third-person, almost action game. I know which one you're talking about. Who's sneaking out the door behind you?
I've seen that in your library.
She's trying to.
Heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of that game. Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, it came out in 2013, so it's been a while. It might have been like their first attempt at an XCOM game, even. But another one back in the day, I always recommended to Gunny. I really enjoyed was BattleTech. It plays just like XCOM, but it's mech warrior based. And what I liked about that is if you came from the right side of a tech or a mech, you would destroy the right side of it. So if you knew it had guns on its right side, you could just almost disable it.
Mm-hmm. What are you running like? How many people live in your house?
Oh yeah, I have kids coming home.
50 different people have walked in and out in the last hour.
I think it's my same daughter walking back and forth.
Are you the owner of a bed and breakfast?
Come in. I hear bells over the door.
Yeah, dinner time.
So XCOM. Oh yeah, so I was gonna say because I did download Gears Tactics because I got Xbox Game Pass, and I loaded that up. It looks beautiful. Chimera Squad for me has more character. Like it seems more fun. Gears is very self-serious. It's very grunts shooting aliens. Get them, boy. But Chimera Squad is a lot kind of more humorous, more light in tone. Still very hard. So right now I'm into that, but I think I'll get into Gears Tactics next if I'm not burnt out on the formula. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. Just waiting for Last of Us 2, really.
Yeah, speaking of Gears Tactics, I didn't play that this week. I did play it last week, and it's okay. The one thing I do kind of miss from playing XCOM is probably just that I like that camera angle, kind of when you're centered in on an enemy and you're ready to press fire, but Gears just has that like top down view. It's not a bad thing. I just think, okay, it's not exactly.
You're right. It goes whoosh. It's like whoosh and like over like the shoulder.
You can see all the detail on the enemies and everything. So,
yeah, no, I know what you're saying. You know what would be cool? A VR game like that where you feel like you're a god over the battlefield and you're just pushing your men along or something like that. I think that would be. I'd be really into that. Just that
would be cool.
Like you're almost like a chess game, right, with real people. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Like I'm just thinking VR too, where you can kind of go up, like move your body up a little bit, and that's kind of like you coming up over the cover. Yeah, interesting. I like that.
What is everyone watching their phones right now? Sorry, I'm not interesting. Jesus Christ.
You talking about a squad game? Yeah, go ahead.
It's okay. I'm going to play Chimera Squad right now while you talk about your games.
Well, I'd like to jump in real quick since I actually have a question on this game actually for Matt.
And you're interested now. Too late.
Oh, geez. Okay.
That's good. What do you want?
Shit.
So throughout the week here, I picked up a game, and I know it's talked about on VGO, which was Cloudpunk. And I know Matt kind of had, or not Matt, but John had an opinion on it, and he was kind of enjoying it. And just something about this game that draws you in. And, there's no action. There's nothing involved combat-wise. But it's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
And what I find really interesting about this game is the multiple characters you run across and the voice acting that they do in this. Yeah. And since you do different voices in games and stuff, and it just really caught my attention this week playing that game because they're so unique. Every person you run across is a really unique voice. And the last couple that I have done was this one guy I talked to, his name was Huxley, and this is probably 5 hours into the game now. he talks about himself as third person, as like a private eye. So you know how you have that kind of private eye kind of sound to him, and he's like, and the dame, you know, was thinking this, and so I'm gonna tell her this, and he keeps spoiling his plot to you
Cool.
as and you're listening to him, and your character's like, I hear you, Huxley, and he's like, the dame is on to me, she knows exactly what I was thinking, but I had to play it cool, you know, and it was just a really interesting take on how they did a character. And then I was really liking this character, and then I found a random NPC on the street. And I went up and talked to him, and I thought it was gonna be like a side quest. And everything he talked was in rhyme, so he did this full almost like song as you were.
Was that the engineer that you talked to?
I think it was. And
it was just it's just such a weird game. But go ahead. That's just
But yeah, and everything was in rhyme, and he told you a little story, and you just had to go up and talk to this one guy and convince him to come down. But it just every character I run across has a really unique voice and a really interesting take on a character. I mean, it's just like a little pop-up dialogue box in the bottom, but everything is voice acted, so you know, it's not
fun game though. Like people talk about every time people talk about this game, they're like, yeah, people are, but is it actually fun? I don't know what
I think it is, and I'm not the one to play like Death Stranding. I had no desire to play Death Stranding.
One of the best games I've ever played. Yeah,
something about it. Just driving around, flying around in that car, and in the city, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
And so you're literally going, okay, I just gotta go to point B, and you can go whatever way you want to get there, and you get there, and you gotta find the parking spot. 'Cause you can only park in a particular spot. It's saying it'll damage the hover jets on your vehicle if you park anywhere. So to prevent that, it won't let you land. So you can only go to these parking spots. You get out of your car, and it kind of goes to like a side view or some like a different 3/4 view or something like that, and you're running around. And you'll have to just talk to different people. And one mission I just did the other day is you had to go talk and deliver a package to Mr. Anderson. And right away I thought I liked Matrix.
Anderson.
Yes. And you get there, and it's this big corporation, and there's a guy at the gate, and his name is Mr. Anderson, and he's an android. And you talk to him, and he's like, well, what, Mr. Anderson? He goes, there is 1,000 Mr. Andersons in our complex. And you're like, what, 1,000 of them? And there is 500 of them are male, and 500 of them are Mrs. Andersons. And you're like, really? And then they were asking, and she was like, well, I'll just give the package to you. And then it had a special message. Then at the end, he was like, you know, I would like to say a complaint. If you could tell the other Mr. Anderson who does accounting my complaint, you know, could you relay that message for me? Yeah. And so, but you have to go talk to another Mr. Anderson, and you go talk to him in the complaints department. Cool. Yeah. And so, but this quirky little like dialogue the game gives you is really unique in that aspect, and I was really enjoying that.
Out. I've heard a bunch of people talk about it. Yeah,
and it is only $20 on Steam, and so I was kind of curious because again, it's set dialogue as I'm going through the entire game. So I'm like, I wonder how long this game actually is, because I have probably 6 hours into it now.
Yeah.
And I think it's like just over the average time to beat's like 11 hours. So it's got like 11 hours of dialogue in it. So I was enjoying it quite a bit. Just different times this week, I kind of streamed it on my channel and was just kind of messing around with it and just having some fun. And you have choices. So there's like, I know John made reference to one of the ones at the beginning of the game, that you pick up a package, and this dog, which is an AI that's uploaded into your car, he's kind of like, I hear a ticking noise, and he's going tick-tock, tick-tock, you know, and it keeps repeating the bomb sound. And you can choose to destroy the bomb or deliver it, you know, and I know Jesus had the same thing too. And you get multiple choices like that throughout the game. And then at one point in time, I'm going, and I get out of my vehicle, and next thing I know, I get comms from the dog, and your car gets stolen, and so you don't have a car. But the company you work for has a lot of clout, and they say just go to this dealership, and you get to pick out a car, and there's like 10 new cars there, and you can pick out the ride that you want, and you got to talk to the guy, and he's like, oh, you work for, you know, Cloudpunk. You just take any car you want, and you can pick a car, and then you can change the entrails that are on the car. You can change the how well the car handles. So you have, as you earn money, you can upgrade your car to make it handle better. It can change the speed of the car. You can change like how fast it goes up and down, because it's almost like John said, it's like a helicopter. You can control the height and stuff of the car too. So it's just kind of interesting in that aspect of, okay, I can upgrade my car a little bit. Okay, now it drives so much better. But if you run into something, it takes damage, and eventually you have to pay to get it fixed. But you can put a better bumper on it to make it cost less. And so you're pocketing more money if you run into stuff often. And then you also have fuel. You have to find a gas station. You can run out of gas. I haven't noticed your character, you can buy food, and it's like roach soup and stuff like that. You know, it depends where you're at, if you're in the slums. But I haven't seen any kind of good effect or anything like that if you eat.
There's no red lobster.
Yeah, no, there's a scene, they say you need a coffee, but it doesn't do anything for your character or nothing. So I don't know if maybe that's something they can maybe add down the road. So, I do get updates for it.
Mayo, a question for you, since I watched you stream this for, a good hour and a half, at least I did. And of course, when I came in, your car was all banged up. And but how do you know where you're going? I didn't see you putting any kind of markers or...
The game puts it on your mini map. So you can, since I'm playing a mouse and keyboard, I hit M and it'll pull up a map if I want to pull it up. And you can see like a green marker on your map. But it's also a green marker on the edge of your mini map. So you can just look at your mini map and just kind of know which direction you have to go. Sometimes you warp to a different part of the city. So like there's an edge of the city. Almost think of like Pac-Man, like the old Pac-Man game. You get to the edge and you go through the hole and you come out another spot. You go through this spot and you warp into a different part of the city. And this part of the city might be for the rich people, and it's like more luxurious and it's like bigger buildings, or it could be like an industry area. Later on in the game, you kind of go to the slum area and you go into this pipe and you're like in the undergrounds and everybody is sick down there and nobody has heat. And so you're helping these people down here, and you're finding out stuff about this virus now. There's like a whole major plot going on.
Gotcha.
And you're finding out about this virus, and they're basically, people are getting sick from it, and they're calling it Cora, and they're blaming everything on Cora. And
Cora 19.
Yeah. And you run across this AI, and it's called Cora, and things start happening, and there's radio commercials that come in, and you hear about traffic accidents that are caused by Cora and stuff. And so you're trying to get to the bottom of it, and you're trying to figure things out. And so there's like a little bit of a mystery behind what's going on. So it's a neat story in my mind. I mean, I'm enjoying it, and a couple of people have been in the stream and with me, and they've been playing through with me, and I let them make some of the decisions with me. I'll be like, okay, do we do this or do we do that? Because one of the things for the Mr. Anderson thing was they had all filed complaints, and they had like something you wanted you to do, and you could either A, vandalize their sign, or B, like do what they asked you to. And my friends in the stream were like, vandalize the sign, and you could walk over to the sign, you hit A, and it did something to the sign. I can't remember what it was, but it had vandalized the sign to make fun of the company.
It just changed the dialogue or the whatever words were on the sign before.
Yeah, it moves something around, but so it just has little neat things like that, and you do have that option. And I don't know if they will have an effect on the game, like if the outcome will be different on a second playthrough. Maybe, I don't know.
But yeah. Because if you're gonna have a game with a bunch of decisions like that, it'd be nice if it kind of led up to something, or it'd be nice if that virus subplot led up to something as well. Now, is this a game is an early access and it's getting made all the time, or is this a finished product?
I did have an update for it. Product. Does it? Because I had an update last week for it. And I don't know. I didn't look at the notes on what the update was.
Yeah, it was just general bug fixes. They had some people saying that some of the lines on the dialogue were fucked up, so they wouldn't show up, or sometimes talking to certain characters at a certain time will lock the rest of the progress of the game up, so you couldn't continue the game.
I did remember seeing
different bugs like that. So they said they patched all those out, and then they did release. They did release a video though saying that they do have more content planned for the game later on in the year. So they are going to bring updates to it. And I don't know what they're going to add to it, but they did release a YouTube video. I didn't watch it, but there is content planned for it.
Nice. And Mayo, where I now I remember where I heard that voice. The guy that talks about, I saw the dame, and that guy on there. I think he's from Fallout 4. Isn't he like the detective, if I remember correctly?
I'm not sure on that one.
The
I never
mechanical.
played that one.
Yeah.
The background on Matt right now is what it looks like in the game.
Yeah.
What the game would look like if it had nice graphics, I think.
I'm buying Cloudpunk right now because you sold me
It's
on
a
it,
fun-
Steve.
It's a fun little game,
yeah,
man.
it is fun.
I enjoyed it a lot too. What I've played of it so far.
Have you bought it yet, Matt?
I'm doing it as we talk.
If you hold off, I could probably Steam share this with you. If you get with me later on this week.
Yeah, sure. What does that mean, though? Sorry, I don't know.
So I can basically will give you like access to my login, and it'll give you access to my whole entire Steam library.
Yeah.
And so you would get.
Oh, we got to do that again too with mine.
Jokingly say we call it the Mayo Pass here because I think I have like 600 games on Steam, and you would have access to it, and you could just play it anytime I'm not online. But that we can work that out. That's not a big deal.
All right, let's do it.
So.
Wait,
it's the best way to like try out games.
I can't see my thumb.
I do the Mayo Pass.
The Mayo Pass.
Yep, Mayo Pass.
Cool, man.
The privileged few. But besides that, the only thing I played the other day, my son and I sat down. He wanted to play some basically split screen games. He wanted to sit down at the computer and just play some stuff together. So we fired up some old Mutant League Football. And I don't know if you guys played the remake of this game or not, but so, and he slaughtered me. We ended up having a field that had a whole bunch of landmines and toxic pits in it. And I had a couple times where my running back was running and I stepped on a landmine and it would explode. And, I fumbled and, he'd bribed the rep and I had to kill the rep and all that fun jazz. But so he beats up on me in the football game. So then he's like, okay, what else can we play? He destroys me on shooters. So he's 15 and he's just gonna kill me on shooters. But so he's like, Dad, let's play Street Fighter. I'm like, okay, we can do this. And I had to proudly admit, being the old person that I am, I whooped him on Street Fighter. It was every character. I just randomly, I'm like, look, I'd just be this character and just whoop him, and then be this character and just whoop him. Kind of like what I do to Jesus if we played Street Fighter. He'd get beat up on. So he gets tired of that, and he's like, okay, we're gonna try the remember the game Injustice, the superhero fighter game.
Yes, the DC superhero fighter game. Yeah.
Yes, and so he tried that one, and I was like 5 for 5 on that one too. So he's like, I think I'm done, So we kind of ended up finishing up the night, and he went back to his Fortnite and Valorant that he plays, and that's so right. He was pretty much going on from there.
Is he into a lot of the what are they called? Fortnite, Valorant,
like Battle Royale?
Yeah, Battle Royale games.
He plays a lot of Fortnite, and that's about it when it comes to Battle Royale with him. He does mess around a little bit with he's a fan of Counter-Strike, and he put a lot of time in CS:GO, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And now I gotten a key for Valorant, and so now he's been picking up Valorant, and so now he's actually playing ranked Valorant, working his way. So we'll see how he does. But from my understanding, I haven't dug into it because I haven't played it myself. But I guess they're going to reset everybody's rank when the game actually comes full release.
Okay.
But there is some tie to something. Like if you do have some kind of rank, there is something that's going to carry over, like a badge or something. But I think they are going to reset your rank in that game. I'm not 100% sure, but he's enjoying that. He's been using just one character, trying to learn that character. And that game, it's like Counter-Strike. It's all about crosshair placement and learning the spread of the guns. So each gun is going to shoot a particular way from your crosshair, and you just want to learn how that is, So cool. You think of Call of Duty, and you put your crosshair right on their head, and you're going to hit them in the head. In CS:GO or Valorant, the recoil and stuff is enough that you're going to actually not hit them right there. It's going to be a little bit off to the left or to the right, and you got to learn that on those guns.
So it's more of a realistic shooter then, or more of a?
It's just the spread of the gun, the bullets is the only thing that's really that realistic on it. And in Valorant, it's very it's tactical, just like Counter-Strike. Except for they have these little abilities. I know, like my son, the character he likes to use has a camera you can put on the walls. So let's say if you're trying to, the other team's around 90-degree corner, he can shoot a camera in the one corner and he can see that 90-degree bend and see what they're doing. Gotcha. And so he can kind of plan, and other characters have like smoke screens they can put through the walls, and one character can kind of teleport to a spot, but you only get it one time. You got to buy it. And it's a lot like Counter-Strike in that aspect. You got to buy your weapons at the beginning and stuff like that. And you work your way up. If you win your rounds, you play, I believe, to 14 or 13 wins, and it has like bomb placement and stuff. So besides that, it's a lot like Counter-Strike, and I guess really easy to run. So
sweet.
Yeah.
But that is it on my end, so I guess that leaves you, Gunny.
Hey, so Valorant, I have a key, I have it installed, and I'm ready to play it. So if you guys have this, I'm willing to play it. I know Kyle, my son's been playing it, and yeah, one of the things I find interesting is watching this on Twitch is how maybe it works the same way in CSGO, but I find it intriguing where you have your crosshair, like you'll have it pointed, not like if you're at a corner, I notice they don't point it left, like they're facing towards the corner. They already have their bodies turned. So I assume when they strafe left, you're already pointing straight down, like where the potential enemy is going to be. So yeah, I think
you just confused me, Gunny. What the fuck? Do you mean?
For example, like you know how like in Call of Duty, like you'll be coming around a corner, you're facing straight. Then you come around the corner, you turn right. Well, I noticed they're already turned right. So it always throws me off when I see like another player on there where I'm like, is that just how you're supposed to do this? You're just kind of more or less strafing around corners. But I guess I'll find out. I'll play.
I couldn't tell you.
I'll play this today. See how it goes. But other than that, guys, I've been playing that Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries on the Game Pass. And this is a good game. I like it so far. I find it a little easier than what's the other mech game, Mayo, that you've played more of than I have? It's more like the XCOM.
You talking about his BattleTech?
Yeah, BattleTech. So, because this one's more of that first or third person actual be inside a mech shooter. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I made it through the first section. I only lost one arm, so I was like, hey, I actually made it without completely dying. So
when I played this game, and Ghost Nico, who's a huge fan of this game, for some reason when I got my new graphics card with the RTX, it has RTX support. So he's like, stream it. I'm like, okay. So I stream it to Discord, and I'm getting tore up. He's just pretty much laughing at me, because later on in the game you have multiple mechs that can go with you. So you'll have another mech that's with you, and you'll be fighting multiple mechs. But you got to pay a whole bunch of money to repair all that stuff, kind of like in BattleTech. So later on, it gets really difficult that you have to sit there and take the time and money to repair your mech. So later on, you'll get like a whole squad, and you got to rotate them out on your missions and stuff. So
is it also where if you want to speed up time, it'll cost more money?
I don't know if it costs more, but I know you can pay the money to speed the time up. But I don't know if it's like a penalty or not. It probably is, since it's kind of a luxury, I guess, to speed up time and get it fixed and on the go ready.
I haven't seen any like types of microtransactions or buy these coins to speed up, time. But
yeah, there's no microtransactions. It's just in-game currency you're going to lose. And then when you finish the mission too, it gives you the option to take scraps or money, and you can pick the scraps, and you would take like the missiles and the bullets from weapons that you would need for your other mechs, and keep that in your inventory, because later on you have to pay for the ammo, you got to pay for the shells, and you got to pay for the rockets and stuff that all go into your mechs later on. So it's kind of a whole inventory, money-based system coming down the road.
Yeah, so it's funny because like at the end of the mission, and it's all continue, but the game bugged out on me. Just on PC, the Xbox Game PC version. So, also I tried out a game I always wanted to try out, but never really wanted to pay for, and that's that DayZ. This is also available on the Xbox Game Pass on console. I don't know if it's
still
available.
In early access. DayZ, like, isn't that one of those perpetual early access games, or is it?
I'm curious if it's still in early access. I know it has been for like the last 6-7 years or 5 years, however long it's been. That's how long I've been watching it on Twitch. But and now they have that new map out. It's called Livonia. That's like a DLC you can purchase. But this is on that regular vanilla map, and it's fine. It's I'm just learning the ropes of how it all works with a controller. So just kind of see, like, is this something I want to purchase for the PC, and have way more options like I've seen Twitch streamers do. So it doesn't look that great, I'll tell you. Even on console, it's still like that draw distance, Mayo, and it's like, oh, if you start to run, you'll kind of see this like hitch, it'll hitch a little bit.
Yeah, that frame rate.
Following. Like, I find it's one of those games that has a really tight community, but outside of that, not many people talk about it.
Right. It's like it reminds me of also another game I fired up this week, which was that Arma 3. Like, more people, I think, play Arma 2 than Arma 3, but it's weird. But oh, that's the other thing, Jesus. They had Arma 3 had this new DLC, and it's free. You can play it. It's called Old Man. Old Man is the name of the DLC.
Or Gunny.
And or they should have just named it Gunny. But I didn't even put this on my list. But yeah, I fired it up the other day, and you start off as this old man. He's dressed in like he looks like the director of the guy from what's the name of that the dinosaur flick, where he's like just like this basic tourist, but I didn't make it too far. I think, I don't know, the game, it's not that great in my opinion, but back to DayZ, it's fun. I met a few people, and it's more like you get that option for like a push to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And like we added each other on there, but it's like Escape from Tarkov, where you still can't see like gamer tags or where the other person is. You just kind of team up, if you choose to do so. But you can shoot each other, you can kill each other. Yeah, like I don't know. I'll see. I'll definitely play more of that this week and see how it goes. The other game I played was that Forza Street Mobile. Anybody download this? Now available.
No.
I guess the one thing that separates this one from, I guess, other racing games is there's no steering. I had my controller ready to go. I had that hooked up to my
game
iPad.
Without steering?
Yeah.
That's what everybody needs.
I was like, literally, I got my Xbox One controller, right? Got my Bluetooth connection. I'm ready to go. Like before I want to fire the game up, so it recognizes it. And it's like, oh yeah, this one doesn't use steering. So basically what this one does is, you get your car and you just kind of right thumb on your phone or tablet or whatever. And so when you get to like each corner, like when you hit the yellow, just like in a regular Forza or some games where it's got the arrows, you just take your finger off the accelerator and it'll automatically go around. And then when you hit the yellow part, you just press accelerate and you can boost.
Doesn't sound fun at all.
No, it's
Right.
not.
What
Yeah.
are you talking about, honey?
Forza Street
Jesus
Mobile.
is asleep over here.
Yeah. So he's the John of the show.
Oh, Forza Street, that phone game?
Yeah.
Isn't that on Windows? Hasn't it been on Windows forever?
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever played it on the Windows thing, but no, I think what it was called something else. And what happened was Microsoft acquired this company that makes this, whatever that racing game was, and I think they just turned it into Forza Street Mobile.
Sounds lame.
It's got some great camera angles, like with some cool cars, like you're driving Mustangs.
They put that on the box. Has great camera angles.
I mean, that's
5 out
really
of
like
5. Gunny
sets
Chief.
this apart. No, literally, because it doesn't have steering, so it just kind of shows you all the different
but the
angles.
camera angles are out of this world. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at the concept of this game. Like, can you imagine them sitting around like, okay, we got a really good racing series and we want to transfer this to mobile. Okay, well, first of all, get rid of steering because no one likes steering in racing games.
Yeah.
Like, it's the thought process. It's dumb.
But my final thought on this, I mean, EA makes way better mobile racing games.
Yeah.
So definitely the Need for Speeds. Pass this one up. But that's all I've been playing.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Doofus dropped for one of my games.
Oh god.
No, first of all, everyone's dismissing this Doofus drop on Android and iPhones. I think. Look, this is a very well made game. I think it's running at 45 frames per second. It's got a lot of options. It's got a cool story. Camera angles, Gunny. It's really camera
all
angles.
the camera angles.
I like camera angles.
Yeah. I mean, you can't have a picture.
I don't want to have to control whatever it is, right? I just want the cool angles.
Yeah.
Matt, this is a little bit of an inside joke, but Jesus, he likes all those camera angles on an early Thursday night. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
What happens early Thursday night?
That's my Steam event. Early Thursday evening.
Gunny gets his accounts hacked on early Thursday mornings.
Just clicking on steamy things in Steam.
So remember the special episode of EGO you guys had the other day? Gunny took inspiration from this on an early Thursday night or evening. So
the first thing I thought of too was the video episode.
It is really hard to find an adult game. This took me a long time.
Just ask Gunny.
Well, I'll ask Gunny. But I clicked on a lot of shady links. I got to a lot of points where they asked me to put in credit cards to pay $40 a month for some stuff.
Oh my god! Whoa, that's expensive.
Well, I didn't do it.
Pornhub is free, guys. What are you paying $40?
Plus, they have premium membership on for. They had a.
It was free, right? Wasn't it free during
I don't know. I read it somewhere that they had premium membership.
Yeah, we're sure you read it somewhere, Matt. On the fucking home page is where you read it.
No, they had it on Reddit too.
Big Reddit fans, he told me about it.
Oh shit. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's news time. Let's move on to the news and talk about some video game news this week. First off, I want to tell you guys about Cloudpunk, Mayo, and Matt.
Sure.
Cloudpunk is going to get an update soon that's going to add a new camera perspective when you're on the ground walking, Mayo. It's actually going to look like the camera's going to be like a free camera behind the character. So you're actually it's going to look like Grand Theft Auto almost, where you're behind the character and you can look around like a third-person camera instead of that weird side view or whatever. They're working on a patch, they said. I watched the YouTube video just now. It looked pretty cool, not going to lie.
Cool.
Moving on now to more news. Well, Nintendo is now trying to get rid of this unofficial Super Mario 64 PC port from the internet. Of course, they're trying to do this, but the people who put this out are making it really hard because they keep sharing it on torrenting sites. So Nintendo's really having a hard time trying to get these torrent sites to comply with the DMCA.
Can they sue the creator, though? At the end of the day, can they just sue the creator?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's dumb.
I mean, they normally do go after that person.
I just think it's such a bad PR. Like, if I were Nintendo...
Nintendo's always been dumb like that, but they've always been super protective of their shit, too, you know what I mean?
But them being... In this day and age, being so protective of an IP means people are going to go after that IP even more. Like, everyone's going to want to do Mario stuff. I've been playing Dreams on PS4, and there's so many Mario games on Dreams. Like, it's such an iconic character. Give it to the people. These people grew up on it. They want to express their love for Mario by making their own Mario games. No one's being tricked into thinking this is a Nintendo product. No one's being tricked into thinking this is an official product. Let the fan base use Mario. I mean, not in porn or something like that, but don't go after a guy who lovingly recreated one of your most classic games in a different engine. Like, celebrate that shit.
Yeah, that's true, but they don't give a fuck about your opinion,
they
Matt.
Don't. Matt, remember
they don't give
when
a
they had
fuck.
That browser? They had that. I think it was a browser game. It was pretty much Mario, Super Mario Brothers, the first one, and it was a ton of fun. It was like a battle royale.
A battle royale. I was going to say.
I guarantee they're going to make their own battle royale Mario, though. Like, they're going to release that shit.
Yeah. What are they?
Own idea.
They released the same exact game.
Probably.
Yeah, the same exact thing. Oh man, that would be.
It was such a good.
DLC they could make. They could do like Koopa characters. They could do Mario characters.
They could do every skin, every character they have. But according to this, Nintendo's lawyers have told Google to not let people find this video on, or the link to this torrenting sites for this fucking shit on Google. So if you search for this game on Google, Google will tell you that they cannot find that for you. Also, Reddit posts are being deleted because Reddit has been ordered to take down any posts with the links to this. Also, any YouTube videos that have been uploaded with content of this game have been deleted, and they're being deleted as we speak, even though they're also being uploaded as fast as they're being deleted. So, as many as YouTube is deleting every day, they're being uploaded every day from different users around the world. But yeah, I mean, Nintendo's lawyers are pretty much hard at work right now trying to get this under control. So we'll see what happens. Fucking Nintendo. Fucking Nintendo.
Goddamn Nintendo.
I know you still probably can't.
God, Nintendo. Why don't you fucking
a Nintendo video without Nintendo taking half of your money?
Nintendo give a fuck about your opinion, Gunny. They don't care about you.
I wouldn't give my dime.
Making games for their system instead of like shitty ports all the time. I don't know how Nintendo skates by. All right, I'm getting a little mad at Nintendo. I'm on Reddit all the time, and Nintendo's like the Nintendo fans are so like they're so easily appeased. It'll be like, here is the first Assassin's Creed game being ported to Switch, and it'll be like, oh, Nintendo, you're so gracious to us. You've given us all these old games. There's no first party titles coming out for Nintendo. Like. Yeah. They get all this great love, but what is Nintendo really doing right now?
Animal Crossing, bro.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
I mean, it did take a while, that is for sure, for that to come out. And
is that even made by Nintendo? Is that made by Nintendo?
Smash Brothers, and yeah,
they're a decent developer, but in terms of like a publisher, like
you leave Nintendo alone, Matt. How fucking dare you, dude?
I've got a Switch, and it's somewhere that I haven't used in so long because I'm not a fan of Animal Crossing.
You know
what am I going to do?
You would be using it if you cared about good games like Animal Crossing.
I've got Simpsons tapped out. I can build a city. I don't know. I've got other games where I can build cities without animals telling me to dig up shit or going fishing every day. I don't.
You can play Dead Cells. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I got Death Stranding if I want to go visit a live open world with intrigue and stuff. I love Death Stranding. Have I told you guys I love Death Stranding? Because I love Death Stranding.
Death Stranding is amazing.
Say that.
Did you know, Matt, the other day the limited edition with the little BB and shit, that thing was $70 on eBay.
Yeah. Really?
Is that something that
that's a fucking
Bill
steal.
Bought?
Yeah, Bill bought it. And, he got a brand new one of the BBs in the little pod. I want one of those things, dude.
I want one of the Neo, the statues of the dude, Norman Reedus. I want one of those.
Oh, those are pretty cool too. Yeah, yeah. But actually, the little BB looks fucking because they're actually big, like this big and shit. Got light up and all that shit. It's fucking cool looking.
It's funny how prescient that game was because that game came out right before coronavirus.
Yeah,
where you're playing a courier delivering the most mundane shit to people who are hunkered down for the rest of their lives. I was delivering CDs and movies to some guy,
pizza and shit.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happened. An unseen enemy. You can just get out there and die because of an unseen enemy. It's be forward looking.
But you can sort of see him because you got the dooms.
Well, your baby can see him. That's another thing.
You got the dooms. He's got the dooms. Remember, he got the dooms where he doesn't cry or whatever.
He cries. Yeah. Does he cry? I can't
doesn't have tears.
No, wait.
Remember, he can't shed tears. He cries, but he can't shed tears.
No,
God, Matt, what kind of fucking Hideo Kojima fan are you, bro?
Well, I'm about to prove you wrong because the thing is, he does cry when it happens. That's the point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, yeah. When it's about to rain.
Wait, hold on.
When it's about to rain, they start crying. Oh, I remember.
Mike,
fine.
Cry. Oh, Jesus.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of a game delivering stuff, I saw a game today on Steam for free.
Good segue.
It's called the Walking Simulator.
Oh, yeah.
You pretty much are Norman Reedus. It looks like Death Stranding. The game says that your job is to deliver packages from point A to point B in a world that's empty.
Isn't that Cloudpunk?
But Cloudpunk isn't empty though. In this world, it is empty. Everything's empty. So you just deliver packages. Wasn't empty
either. Well, look, Death Stranding. I joke, but I think it was one of the best games in a long time.
Oh, dude, I fucking love that game. I loved it all the way to the end, Matt. Once you remember the end with that 1 hour on the beach talking to Emily on the beach, and then she would talk to you for 2 sentences. and then you had to get up and get up and walk around for like 2 steps.
Walk again.
Oh my god, I hated that part. I fucking hated that. That shit took 4. I stopped paying attention after 20 minutes. I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Just get this over with. Fucking
that felt like the game was kind of like, okay, we really need to beat people over the head what this plot is all about, because it was just an hour of just exposition, just throwing up on players, and it was kind of funny. But I think you have to celebrate games like that, because that was just a unique vision for a game that someone got to make. It didn't feel like anything else, and I love the multiplayer aspect of it, and I just want to see more games like that, just different.
What's really cool is the multiplayer aspect of it, you know, because like even the other day, like not even that long ago, about a few weeks ago, I loaded up my PS4 and I actually re-downloaded the game. And I went into the game and I already beat it, you know, so like the whole area is unlocked or whatever. But I went to a previous save. But I went to the very first like big bridge, you know, like those metal bridges you can build.
Yeah.
I went to the very first one that I ever built, which was like in front of one of the first bases that you go across this huge river.
Yeah.
And that fucking bridge is still there, and it has like 300,000 likes or whatever. Some people upgraded it, like some people added some holograms to it or whatever, and added music to it, and like people have been upgrading. I'm like, that's fucking dope. Like I built this thing like months ago when I first played the game, and this fucking thing is still here. You know what I mean? Like people are upgraded it and shit. That's fucking awesome.
Well, it was multiplayer designed to help each other out. So when you were in a pickle, or like especially rough terrain, and someone built a bridge, you're like, oh, thank you, whatever Jesus walks on air or whatever, 9221. Thank you so much for building this bridge. So yeah,
man, I'm right there with you too, though. Like you were talking about, like how Death Stranding is kind of original, and you kind of like that, and you wish you would see more of that. I think us as older gamers, I think we've just seen so much of these games played over and over and over and over, that when we do see something really new and unique, we really take to it and really enjoy it, and like, oh, that was really cool concept, or that was really neat. That's the way I feel, because I just feel like, oh, I'm playing this game, it's a rehash of this, you know, like, or this game is a rehash of that, you know. Like I see the new Assassin's Creed commercial and I'm like, okay, but it's kind of Assassin's Creed, you know, and it's gonna be cool and I'm gonna enjoy it, and it's gonna be the new graphics and all that kind of stuff, but it's the same, I guess.
But you know what it's gonna be, right? Like Assassin's Creed, first of all, it's one of my favorite series, but you know this new Assassin's Creed is you're gonna have to climb something tall in order to get a sense of the area
and jump off.
You're gonna be able to sneak around. There's gonna be bushes that you sneak in. It's gonna be Assassin's Creed in a different skin. It's going to be the same kind of ship mechanics in a different skin, which is fine. Like, I love that, but it's not going to ignite the passion or like the wonder that I had kind of with Death Stranding, where like I'm playing something kind of new, like with new mechanics, new gameplay, new things to consider. This is more just like, yeah, I love cheeseburgers, so jam a cheeseburger down my face for the next month. Like, I'm not going to complain, but it's not going to make me remember it too much. I played Odyssey for, I think, 2 months straight. I can't remember a single mission in that thing. Like, nothing really stuck with me or resonated with that.
Alexio, you want the drachmas.
Drachma. I told you the time I was in Toronto and I was doing I was doing an audition, and I heard Assassin's Creed voices. I heard the female voice and I heard the male voice in the background. And I'm like, oh, who's playing this game? No, it was the 2 actors. They were recording the DLC in the studio next to me.
That's
I'm like,
fucking sick.
Shit.
That's fucking awesome.
Cool.
That reminds me too, Matt. Since you're on, I used to, back in the day when VGO had the premium subscription, and I was a premium subscriber. You started off doing the voices of Matt. Have you thought about picking that up again? Because I really found it interesting. Your first one, or maybe 1 or 2 in, it was one you had with Dom from Gears, and I loved listening to that, and that was like my first real taste of Matt Bradford, and listening to that, I really enjoyed it. And I've always kind of waited. I know you've mentioned one time before about bringing it back, and then I still haven't really seen anything. But
it's just it takes a long time, because with those it's like 45-minute interviews, and it's a lot of time setting those up with like agents and stuff, and it is a lot of work. And so I put out a bunch of feelers since then for other actors. It just hasn't panned out, and I don't know. I'd love to do it more one day. It just kind of fizzled out.
I can imagine. I mean, you probably you can only get so far with it because you can only get so many people on, and then that's where you're at. So maybe I didn't know if you had like a backlog. Eventually, you could get so many people and then release them, as you go, or how you're doing that. But I was really enjoying them.
Oh, thanks. You're the only person I knew who listened. No, I know a few people. I know a few people have listened, but like on the VGO app, it was kind of a different kind of thing because a lot of the VGO shows, which are great by the way, it was just kind of people talking about their lives and stuff like that from their point of view. This is something like I don't want to get too much into it. I'm not saying like I put more work into it. Obviously, everyone puts work into it, but this is something like I had to plan so much in advance, and then it kind of just went out there, and kind of that was it. So I don't know. We'll see. I might get back into it. Maybe I'll interview you.
There you go.
But thank you. I appreciate the kind words. No, it was neat because I did interview one of the guys from Disco Elysium right after I played the game. And it was
nice.
just neat. Yeah, it was just neat going behind the scenes with the games I love. That was my whole
voice acting. What fucking voice acting did Disco Elysium have? It was all reading shit.
You're all reading shit. No, it was all voice acting, dude. When you played
Buddy,
the partner. Remember the partner?
You didn't play enough of this, Jesus. You didn't play enough.
No, but you're right. Like, it was usually voice acted for the first like 3 interactions with somebody, and then it was all text. Because to voice act this thing, it would be forever because there was so much.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of dialogue, a lot of things to read. So yeah, I get it. I get it, man. I guess.
See, that's why you make the big bucks, Matt. You get paid to read. We get lazy over here to do that. We just want somebody like you to read it to us. Yeah. That just makes it worthwhile.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'm not getting many voicing gigs these days. I won't lie to you because there's no studios open.
Yeah,
true.
Everybody's working from fucking home.
Yeah.
Anyways, speaking of working from home, Dying Light 2 has apparently been in development hell, according to a Polish report. That's right. So, according to some employees over at Techland, development on Dying Light 2 has been absolute hell, and it's a total mess. So supposedly, some people are saying that they've been frustrated and unhappy with the working conditions as well as the game's general direction. According to a few of them, Dying Light 2 is roughly a year away from release, and there's no core gameplay loop, including the lack of a vertical slice, and many point towards problems with the game's director, Adrian Sisuski. How the fuck do you pronounce that name? It's Polish.
Wait, there's
obviously.
No gameplay loop? What does that mean? I don't.
Well, let me tell you. So supposedly, Dying Light's 2 lead writer, Chris Avellone of Fallout New Vegas fame, wrote a coherent story with an interesting world and factions. However, once this story was implemented, all game direction was lost, and a lack of vision has soured the game's potential. Most of the interesting quests Avellone had written were turned into watered-down fetch quests. So, this isn't to say that Dying Light 2 is unplayable. This is clear by the gameplay demo, that we've been shown.
Sounds like sour grapes to me.
Just that there's a possible lack of direction or gameplay loop. There's also seeming to be a problem with toxic work culture, as developers are expected to crunch even during the alpha build phase, with many employees complaining about being called late at night to work on development. A recent review for Techland by a current employee on Glassdoor cites that, quote, upper management blocks good initiatives, doesn't listen to feedback, and desperately avoids any changes, and they don't trust its developers. They also describe the workplace as a chaos, lack of high-level management, and lack of planning. However, according to the article as well, Avellone has denied a sour relationship between him and the game's director, as well as a few game designers who stated that Dying Light 2 has a stable build right now and that everything is fine. Closing with, yes, we're still working on Dying Light 2, but that's just how games are done. So, what do you guys think?
I say fire everyone.
Yeah, fire them all.
I mean, you're going to have to at this point, right? Everybody's going to have to go their separate ways. I think once the poison's in, it's done.
Just fire the whole dev team. Gunny, they've been working on this game for years.
Fire the whole dev team.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Give it to someone else. Give it to someone who cares.
Yes, there you go.
Yep. CD Projekt Red. I like the first one. No, I reversed that. The first one I found was empty to me. Like I found like I didn't care too much about the story going on. I really enjoyed the gameplay, but after a while, I was just, I was going somewhere, killing a zombie, going somewhere, killing a zombie. Like, it didn't feel very connected to me in terms of a story or a world. And it was kind of a slog to get through it. Like, a throwback to what we were talking about, it felt like every other game I'd been playing before. So this second one coming out, it hasn't really, I don't have much hype for it.
For me,
so they're going to have to do something cool.
What I was hyped about is the different factions they were talking about in the game, where like you can choose to side with like the government people or like the military or whatever, how they're dealing with the zombies, or you can choose to side with the survivors over here, like have like this colony over here, or you can choose to side with this other people.
You do that in Fallout like 10 years ago, right? Like whenever they say
this is Dying Light, Matt. Okay, this is Dying Light, Matt.
You know what I'm talking about. Whenever they say there's factions in video games, it just means that you have different quest givers. Like, that's all it means. You work for the government people, you can easily go to the anti-government people afterwards and do all their quests.
That's true.
Jesus, when are
they going to get factions right? Like, what game is Cyberpunk going to get factions right? Who's going to get factions right?
That's true though. Like in Cyberpunk, if I pick like the, I don't know, Cyber Arm faction.
GTA.
Yeah.
But I don't want. So if I pick the Cyber Arm faction, I want to go to the Cyber Eye faction. Like, no, you're one of the Cyber Arm motherfuckers. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, like, hey, motherfucker, you helped that guy in that other strip club or whatever. You know, fuck you. Don't come over here and try to help me out, motherfucker. Like, because Cyberpunk seems like a very big game, and from everything that I've seen, they keep saying that like missions are dynamic. Missions can change like based on how you choose to approach something in a mission. The whole mission outcome can change, based on how you approach it. So I really hope that they follow through with all that, because that seems like a lot of ambition for a game that's open world, big, it's going to have a lot of quests and a lot of missions. So to be something where like they keep saying that everything's dynamic and fluid and everything keeps changing based on your choices, I fucking hope that they follow through with all that fucking shit.
I think they're biting off a ton. CD Projekt Red is promising the moon with this game.
But if they pull it off, though, Matt, if they're able to pull it off, then that seals the deal. They're going to be one of the biggest and best developers in the fucking world. They're going to be like Rockstar, pretty much. They're going to be the Polish Rockstars.
I think they're in the best position to pull it off. Like they know the expectations they've set for Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like they're going to hit it. It's not going to be the game we have in our minds. I think we have to go in it thinking that like it's still going to be a game with limitations to this generation. It's not going to be this open, intuitive game that changes every single second with your decisions. But I think it's going to be the best that they can offer at this point in time.
Yeah. I agree. But speaking of Cyberpunk, what are you going to say, man? What are you going to say?
Well, are you going to do another segue? Well, I got to run, my friends. I've got to...
Oh, man.
Familial commitments.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, we were going to have another 43 minutes of Matt Bradford, but someone decided to show up late. Someone...
Who?
Someone was early on here.
Saturday.
Someone wasn't here early on a Saturday. 45 more minutes of Matt Bradford is what you would have had, ladies and gentlemen. We could have done all the news with Matt. All the news.
I had so much. I had a whole bit prepared.
He had a whole thing.
Video.
You should have heard the things he had planned out for this show.
You guys should see Matt right now. He has Tiger King on his background. He had a whole thing set up.
I had a whole Carol Baskin sketch going on.
Gunny fucking ruined it. God damn it, Gunny.
I didn't do it. I was updating the document. I was here. I was working.
You weren't here.
I got nothing left. You got all my good stuff. It's been like 2.5 hours. You got all my good stuff. I can't. Yeah. You squeezed me dry. I don't know what else to talk about.
Whoa there, Matt. Anyways, Matt, thank you for being on, dude. Yeah, where can people find you?
Thanks, Matt.
You can find me at Matto McFly, MattoMcFly. Video Game Outsiders, Tuesday nights at 9:00. Zombiecast podcast, Monday nights at 8:00. I guess I should tell you where, right? Video Game Outsiders is at the Riot Network. Zombiecast is at All Games Network for the foreseeable future. No Sleep podcast, which is every Sunday, which is a kind of narrative, me reading horror stories.
Yeah.
And, that's where you can find me on. Yeah.
Spooky stories. All right, Matt, get the hell out of here. Go back to Canada.
Bye.
Bye, Matt. Bye. Love you, Matt.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Anyways, moving on now to more news. Cyberpunk 2077 developer has not clarified in-game purchases. Dun, dun, dun. The spicy ESRB rating published for Cyberpunk 2077 included a mention for in-game purchases, which may have raised some eyebrows, Gunny. Considering that CD Projekt Red always expressed a firm stance against microtransactions in the game, the mention certainly sounds off. So Twinfinite reached out to the studio directly to seek clarification on the issue. A CD Projekt Red representative explained that the in-game purchases descriptor is now required for games that may receive expansions in the future. So if you're going to release DLC for a game, you have to have in-game purchases on your ESRB ratings. Since we already know that the game will receive expansions after its launch, as mentioned in the latest investor conference call, this solves that mystery, Gunny. CD Projekt Red is also planning a reveal event in June, so it's likely that we'll see more about the game then. If you want to learn more about Cyberpunk, blah, blah, blah. But to me, if they're playing an event in June, that sounds to me that they were going to plan to be at Xbox's E3, and they were going to talk about Cyberpunk, and they just didn't have the chance. Because now E3 is canceled, so they don't have that platform to speak about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I figured it'll be at, it'll be the online.
It'll be their own video.
Stream.
It'll be their own thing. Yeah, it'll be their stream. It'll be like on Twitch, breaking world records.
Yes,
Moving on now.
For sure.
Moving on now. Oh, this link is a good link, guys. I don't think this is a good link. It's not loading up.
Don't press it.
You guys give me a bad link. EA is still planning to release 14 games over the next 11 months. That's right, even with this global workforce largely working from home. EA says it's forging ahead as planned. Earlier this year, EA announced that it had 14 games coming in 2021 fiscal year, which started last month. Yes, the fiscal year started last month, Gunny, for 2021. That's right. During today's investors' calls, EA restated that figure, despite many of its employees working from home due to the COVID-19 bullshit, blah, blah, blah. They still plan to release 14 games between now and next April. 4 of the 14 games will be sports games, so we know that much. We know FIFA is going to be one. Madden will be another one. NHL will be another one. And one unannounced sports game. I'm assuming it's probably NCAA or something like that. There's no word on platforms, but, whatever. We'll see if they're going to come to PC or not. So, 4 more games, which will draw on the breadth of EA's IPs, such as Command and Conquer Remastered, said CEO Andrew Wilson. So, there's going to probably be a Command and Conquer Remastered in there, probably a Burnout Paradise for Switch, along with the new Medal of Honor VR game. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 games already listed. So they got 7 more games, Gunny. And
nice.
They said 2 other games will be mobile, so that's 9 games. And Wilson, nothing else is specific to announce except to say that EA has a new IP in development and a number of new incubation products that are starting to come together. The new Battlefield will not be on that fiscal year of new games. That game will release sometime after April 2021, but it is progressing very, very well, according to the CEO, Andrew Wilson. That's right.
He would say that, obviously.
EA expects a good year ahead despite of the COVID-19. They anticipate $5.5 billion in net revenue. So there you go. Good time to be EA. Make $5.5 billion.
Their stocks just went up from this announcement.
Do we turn our executive? Wait, what are you going to say, Gunny? What are you going to say, Gunny?
I was going to say, I think that, excuse me. I think with the thing that I think we would be just more interested in is to see what they have on their spotlight from other smaller studios.
The new Anthem. Anthem 2 is coming next year, guys. Woo! We got there again. Anthem 2. Everyone's gonna be all guys. You guys like the Iron Man suit? We brought it back. I
was thinking something more like a Way Out, like something from those guys or somebody else.
Bring out more. A Way Out is now Iron Man suits too. No Way Out. Everyone's got Iron Man suits.
They're $15 DLC.
Okay.
Every game that we have has Iron Man suits now.
What if Anthem comes out? Anthem 2 comes out, right? and it's a PS VR title.
Okay, no, don't want
Don't
it.
think you'd like it?
No, fuck no.
It'd be basically your
Stupid.
Iron Man suit in VR.
It'd be that Iron Man game. The fuck you talking about, Mayo? Be that fucking Iron Man game that's coming out for PlayStation VR, which has been
you think they're
canceled.
just going to be like scrap Anthem 2 altogether? Do you think? You think they should?
Anthem 2 is not a thing, Mayo. They scrapped that thing as soon as Anthem failed. Anthem 2 is not a thing, and if it is a thing, it's not coming out for the next fucking 6 years, probably. They want people to forget all about Anthem 1. They want, I would say probably 10 years, maybe 15 years we'll see Anthem 2. When Gunny's like 79 years old.
I'll be an older man.
How old are you now, Gunny? Gunny will be playing with arthritis, all right? Leave him alone, guys.
I'll be playing with that new virtual controller. I don't need a controller.
Doom Eternal head Marty Stratton weighs in on the OST controversy. Doom Eternal executive producer Marty Stratton has issued a statement in response to the recent controversy surrounding the game's original soundtrack. Released after composer Mick Gordon distanced himself from the project, prompting a backlash in part against id Software. In a lengthy open letter posted to Reddit, and confirmed by GameSpot, Stratton expresses respect for Gordon's work but explains the background of the OST release. According to Stratton, Gordon had asked for extensions to deadlines, including the one that pushed the original soundtrack past the game's March release date. As a backup, Stratton requested the help of Chad Mossholder, id Software lead audio engineer, to develop the OST tracks in case Gordon could not deliver the full list of tracks. Stratton told Gordon of his backup, and according to Stratton, it was Gordon who suggested he work with Mossholder to compile the work into one OST. That ultimately led to the OST as we know it, with the roughly dozen songs from Gordon and the rest filled in by Mossholder. Stratton also explained that why the non-Gordon soundtracks are of lower quality. He said that mixing together an OST usually involves working from the source material, which id Software does not have access to, so Mossholder was forced to mix in game tracks. Stratton said part of what prompted him to make a statement was to defend Mossholder against personal attacks that stemmed from the lower quality mixes. In the end, Gordon is listed as a composer and artist, while Mossholder is listed as a contributing artist on his tracks. Stratton says it would have been misleading for us to attribute tracks solely to Mick that someone else had edited. Yeah, that's right, motherfucker Gunny. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's why you have lower quality soundtracks.
It all makes sense.
Music.
There's more to it than what he said initially.
Motherfucker wanted more time. They said, no, you got to release by March. And he was like, well, I don't know if I can. They're like, all right, we're going to tell the other dude to start working on it too then so you can. And then the dude didn't share his original music, which included the original files that were uncompressed. You know, he had to work off of the fucking soundtrack he had already.
He definitely painted a different story, didn't he? That's for sure.
Yeah. Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR series, is coming to the PSVR this summer, Gunny. Today, we're excited to let you know that Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR series, is coming to the PlayStation VR later this summer. And the series will be available as a complete series, Gunny. All 3 episodes and lightsaber dojos will be available for purchase together for the first time. Dun, dun, dun!
That's
Awesome.
nice being able to purchase it all together. Because I remember when I got it on the Oculus store, I had to buy each individual episode, and I gotten them as they were coming out. So I bought an episode 1, and I had to wait. And then episode 2 and 3 actually came out within like a week or two of each other. But it was just kind of weird. You had to wait forever to get the completion of the story. And the games, each episode is super short. You know, it's a really good experience, and it's almost like a fancy tech demo, really, in the Star Wars universe. You do some things here and there, and it just kind of ends. And you're like, that's it? Really? You know, and then you had to wait for the next episodes. So it's nice you can get them all together, but still you're looking at a 3-hour playthrough for all 3 of them combined.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know what else is available on PS4 now? Is that Walking Dead Saints and Sinners.
Saints and Sinners, yep, I saw that. Yep,
That is cool. I noticed One Piece is not available. It looks like some kind of pre-order bonus, but I'm not sure what the DLC is. But either way, the full game is up there, and you can buy the Ultimate Edition as well.
Nice. Moving on now, unhappy Xbox players file a lawsuit against, or an unhappy Xbox player files a lawsuit against Microsoft for stick drift claims. That's right. The plaintiff believes Microsoft failed to disclose the defect. Microsoft has been hit with the class action lawsuit that claims its Xbox One controllers, like Nintendo's Joy-Cons, suffer from, quote, stick drift. As reported by VGC, the class action complaint, which was filed on the 28th of April in Washington State by Donald McFadden, maintains that customers paying to repair the controllers after 90-day warranty expires are allegedly paying to repair a known fault. McFadden alleges that his Xbox Elite controller, which retails for $180, 160 euros, or pounds, demonstrated drift within a short time, as did his replacement controller. 3 or 4 months later, Gunny, in some cases, it is alleged controller movements are even registered when the sticks are stationary and no one's even touching them.
What?
Faulty potentiometers, that's a big word, which is the mechanism that translates the physical movement of the thumbstick into the movement within the game Mayo, are reported to have a, quote, design flaw. As VGC reports, quote, the wiper component of the potentiometer scrapes resistive material off of a curved track, resulting in unwanted electrical contact without input from the user. In documents seen by the outlet, the plaintiff claims that he spent a considerable amount of time attempting to fix the defect on his own, and now believes that in light of the numerous complaints, Microsoft has failed to disclose the defect and routinely refuses to repair the controllers without charging when the defect manifests. A simple Google search on the issue reveals multiple forum and message boards dedicated to stick drift, YouTube instructional videos of users attempting to fix the issue on their own, and even replacement joystick components from Amazon and other sellers, the filing states. U.S. lawyers have filed a similar class action lawsuit against Nintendo after concerns around the issue of the Joy-Con drift last July. And further plaintiffs were added in the September following a similar complaint about the new Nintendo Switch Lite consoles too. Dun, dun, dun.
So does this tell me this is more like a factory, more like something that's there? I mean, especially if you're talking about other game.
Well, they're charging players. They're charging players to fix them after the warranty. Cool. So
I could definitely see if they had some sort of stipulation where they say, hey, you can send it in, but if we find out that it's not something from the factory, then you will be charged, something like that. But in this case, then no, I could definitely see him going ahead with this lawsuit. Especially if they're going to charge you for it. And I assume they're talking about the first one. The first, not the Elite Controller 2, but the first one, which I've never. If anything, Jesus, I think I would probably join any kind of lawsuit regarding the grips, because they all just kind of.
Oh, you guys want to sue them? You guys want to file a lawsuit, guys? I got two controllers.
Right, we should all do it.
HGP group.
Hey, because Jesus, you're the one that's like, you could buy those. You can buy those on Amazon. Like, I just want it repaired.
I'm gonna sue them for the fucking grips. Let's do this, guys. We might get free controllers for life or something.
We're probably each going to get like $6.32 in
some fucking settlement. We'll give you guys one. No. We'll give you guys a yearly subscription to Game Pass and one Elite controller. So shut the fuck up. Here you go.
Fine. Not another word said.
Gunny's signing over his life. He's done.
You need my login credentials. Huh.
There's a new leak pointing to a new map for Call of Duty Warzone. An explosive brand new leak points to a possible new map headed to the massive battle royale, Call of Duty Warzone, as soon as Season 4. Call of Duty Warzone is one of the world's most popular video games, Mayo, and Infinity Ward has continued to support the game quite frequently with new modes, brand new contracts, and content galore. And if a recent leak is true, Infinity Ward is going all out with support for the title, as a brand new map may be coming to the game very soon. Reddit user r.doug/DougDagnabbit has noticed a fascinating video with the files of Call of Duty Warzone. The clip shows an overhead map looking at Verdansk, which is the current playable map in Warzone. Suddenly, dozens of red dots appear on top of the Verdansk area, perhaps indicating that it was attacked by missiles or even nukes. And then the video pans over to a different area of the massive territory and shows Urzikstan, a land of desert, mountainous regions, and urban settings. Urzikstan is a fictional country within the Modern Warfare universe. It's entirely possible that Warzone's new playing grounds are in this country. Fans have recently wondered if a new Warzone map could take place in a Chernobyl-type setting, which would certainly be intriguing as the series has been dabbled in single-player missions and multiplayer maps within that mind in the past. Urzikstan would also seem to be a natural fit as the assets are already created. The area was heavily used in the campaign in Modern Warfare, and it would create a lot of fun battle experiences for the players. The file that was uncovered is labeled as Season 4 in the files, which would indicate that this new map could come out as soon as the beginning of Season 4 of Modern Warfare and Warzone. Season 3 of Modern Warfare and Warzone began April 8th and is currently planned to run through June 1st. This would mean that the Season 4 would begin on June 2nd, so fans can start the hype train now. Dun, dun,
So
dun.
I think if we see this like in let's say a Warzone type map, but wouldn't that also bring over at least two other maps for the multiplayer?
Yeah, obviously,
think?
yeah. Yeah, because every time the season comes out, the new like 2 or 3 maps come out for the multiplayer.
Yeah, it's never just one map. I mean, I can see the one for Warzone, but at least 2 or 3 for regular multiplayer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to keep it fresh, man. Keep it fresh.
Definitely.
That is for sure.
Is this a real article, Gunny?
I don't know. Mayo put this up, so
This
you know
is-
what?
this
This guy's like a
satire,
little
guys.
controversial, isn't he? But I could definitely see him in Call of Duty, not Fortnite.
Yeah, I wasn't.
This is not true. This is fucking satire. You guys are having me read satire news now? Huh? The fuck, Mayo? Huh? The hell's
Can't
going
hear
on
you,
here?
Mayo. You're muted.
Sorry, I have a cat in the background making noise. Yeah, I seen that. And I just kind of linked it to Gunny. I just thought it was kind of funny. I didn't read through it.
Yeah, no, it didn't. That didn't happen. Didn't happen.
Okay. Oh, it must be like some sort of thing against, or yeah, like a Fortnite thing.
It's a satire thing, guys. Come on now. Come on, guys. Come on, fellas. Speaking of
You
more
remember, we're
Xbox
old.
news, speaking of more news, the Xbox executive is saying that it's set some wrong expectations for the Xbox Series game reveals. Reaction was mixed to Microsoft's Inside Xbox live stream last week that showed off some of the first Xbox Series X gameplay, with many viewers complaining about the lack of actual gameplay on display Thursday morning. The YouTube upload of the video of Inside Xbox has been downvoted over 23,000 times, Gunny, compared to more than 18,000 thumbs up votes. And commenters are now venting frustration that Microsoft and its partners showed. Some shit, Gunny, some shit. Xbox Games Marketing General Market Manager Aaron Greenberg responded to the blowback about the Inside Xbox livestream, saying that, quote, Microsoft has set some wrong expectations about what would be shown, and adding that that's on us, guys. That's on us. This week's Inside Xbox promised, quote, a first look at next-gen gameplay, Mayo. But the 27-minute show offered little of that. Some video previews of the Xbox Series X games were labeled with stipulations that footage was, quote, representative of expected Xbox Series X gameplay or visual quality. In-engine previews of games like Madden NFL 21 compromise mere seconds of next-gen visuals, and for the big draw, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ubisoft offered what some viewers labeled as just another cinematic trailer. Microsoft has heard the feedback loud and clear, Greenberg said. Had we not said anything and just shown May Inside Xbox show like we did last month, I suspect reactions might have been different, he wrote on Twitter. Clearly, we set some wrong expectations, and that's on us. We appreciate all the feedback and can assure you we will take it all in and learn as a team. Assassin's Creed Valhalla creative director Asraf Ismail likewise took a conciliatory approach to fan feedback on Twitter, saying, you rightfully expected to see more today. We have a long marketing campaign ahead of us. You will see in-depth gameplay and get a lot more info about the game. Thank you for your excitement and passion. Be patient with us and be kind. It'll be worth it. That's right. And that's true, because Microsoft did say the next-gen gameplay, guys, is coming.
I did see that. I saw that on Twitter, and I saw it on other media platforms. It said Xbox Series 1 X gameplay. So I thought, oh my gosh, what does that tell you, Jesus? How much, let me ask you this. So that would tell you how much of Assassin's Creed Valhalla are they going to show? Just roughly, what were you thinking?
Maybe
Actual
like maybe
gameplay.
2-3 minutes of like them like having a battle or something, like an actual fight or something. Maybe 2 minutes, maybe a minute. I don't know.
I was thinking at least 5 to 10, possibly.
Maybe. Or maybe.
I mean,
like
I don't want to see the whole game, but
if you're gonna go all out and be hardcore, then yeah, 5 minutes at least. Yeah.
Right, because you want to have it. Because if they're going to put that on there, right? Series 1X, yeah, sure, put that on there. Because what do you want to see the next day from Digital Foundry? He's going to pull it apart and go, look what we're seeing here on the Xbox One Series X gameplay. You know what I mean? So, yeah, don't put that on there if you're not going to have it. So, or 2 seconds of it. Yeah. But I mean, it was just a inside Xbox show. I kind of knew like, oh, maybe they're kind of going all out. I'm surprised they're doing it on, this is the inside Xbox show. But yeah.
Well, they did. I don't know. Even Phil Spencer said that it was going to be next gen shit, right? Like,
yeah, I saw the tweet. I saw the tweet that he wrote, and I saw other people hyping it up. They're going to bring the fire. Like this is going to be so awesome. But I mean, it wasn't a letdown, but it was still like they didn't deliver on promise.
And the thing is, most of the gameplay, like it said here, it was all saying on the bottom, like this is not actual footage on an Xbox Series X. So they weren't even running most of the stuff on an Xbox Series. They were running it all on PC. You know what I mean?
But that was an awesome trailer. Really good. Really hyped for that Assassin's Creed. I haven't even seen like the other stuff. I haven't been watching it, so I've just been playing games. I haven't seen any of the other horror games they've been showing. Like, not into those. So, yeah, I'm sure I'll see the trailers between now and June.
Yeah, I haven't had an opportunity to watch any of them yet either. Since I was at work and all that came out.
Yeah, just some GameSpot highlights that I've watched.
Yeah, moving on to another piece of news that I have here. Double Fine Studios has now confirmed that Psychonauts 2 will be a part of July's Inside Xbox event.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know a lot of people are wondering, is it going to be that or a new IP?
Yeah. So pretty much Psychonauts 2 developer Double Fine was one of the development teams mentioned, and its founder Tim Schafer has elaborated on this further. Schafer provided an update via both YouTube and Psychonauts 2 fake campaign page, noting that the team had originally intended to drop beautiful, exciting psychedelic gameplay of the title at E3 2020 before the show was canceled. However, Schafer has now confirmed that the plans have now been locked back in place for July, the Inside Xbox show. So, Psychonauts 2 news for you guys out there waiting for that. Yeah.
Good deal.
And there's that new Scarlet Nexus game coming out. There's just been box art for that. People are saying that this was shown by Xbox, but it's also been confirmed for the PS5 and the PS4, so it's coming out to everything. They just have a marketing deal with Xbox. And
right.
And that's really it. I mean, that's all we have for news. Really, nothing else.
Awesome. You got anything else, Mayo, before we move on to the console corner?
No, I haven't seen a whole lot today in the last couple of days of news, actually.
Okay.
All right, folks, moving on to the console corner and some of our free games from our favorite launchers. For the month of May, your PlayStation Plus games are City Skylines, the PS4 edition. I should play this now. I'll just play more PS4 because Cities is my favorite game. And your second one is my least favorite game, Farming Simulator 19. I think I own this on the Xbox One, so go ahead and, if you want to be a farmer, go get that.
Wait, on what launcher?
The what? Oh, no, on PlayStation Plus. Farming Simulator.
I own that on Epic. It's cool.
Irony there. You know how I mentioned it before, like all these games that come out free are all on the Epic Store.
Yeah.
Yeah, PlayStation, come on now, you can do better. But moving over to the Xbox One, your Games for Gold, you still have for the first half of May that V Rally 4. I think I played the first race of it, and it's all right.
Gunny, you don't like rally games? You don't like rally games?
I do like rally games. One of the things that I've been eyeing is Dirt 2.0. They have a Colin McRae cars. I want to get that. I'd rather get that than something for V Rally 4.
I mean, Gunny, do you like to be the co-driver or the driver when you're playing rally games?
I want to be the driver, the lead driver.
I saw a thing today. I don't know where I saw it, but it was about rally drivers, and it was about the co-drivers and all the shit they have to do before like a race. You know, like they have to like them and the driver go on the course and drive the course that they're gonna race on, and they have to take handwritten notes. Like they don't get notes like fancy typed up notes. Like no, they have to like handwrite notes on like a fucking notepad or whatever. And that's what they use during the race when they're racing. They have to, when they call out like 25R, blah, 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 25L, whatever, sharp right, whatever, coming up or whatever the fuck. And all the codes they use.
Bump, slow over bump.
And they do all that shit, but like that's all based off of their notes that they took the day before driving to the course. It's fucking crazy.
So what you're saying is if I get like through the race, and let's say I'm like, if I place maybe 10th place, can I just punch my co-driver in the face?
You could. Fuck that co-driver. You should have been better.
You're fired. Fuck out of my car.
And then I saw one where they said like back in like 2002 during a rally race, like, because you know the co-drivers and the drivers, they get like a toolbox with them, and if your car breaks down, you're supposed to repair it right there on the side of the track or whatever to keep racing. But I was reading some shit about how motherfucker, they had a video too, like this motherfucker, they were driving in a race and the steering wheel came loose. Like the fucking steering wheel of the car came loose, and the fucking co-driver had to tighten the steering wheel while the dude was racing. Like while they were driving down the track, the dude was tightening the steering wheel with the wrench. That's fucking nuts. I'm like, holy shit. Crazy. That's pretty wild. Another one was where they had like their coolant, you know, like the coolant in the car like fucking leaked, and they had like no coolant inside the fucking engine. So it was overheating. So they put Corona beer. Like they found like a giant Corona beer bottle, and they poured it into the fucking coolant because they had like no coolant and they had no water. So they just used fucking Corona beer.
Had beer though.
To keep the car running for the whole race. That's fucking nuts.
Then we drank the rest of the beer and peed in it. So that filled it up.
Yeah, rally racing is fucking wild, man. That shit look crazy. But yeah, I went through there.
Yeah, I like watching some of that Baja racing, but no, I wouldn't be that mean where I do such violence on my co-driver. I'd probably get halfway through the race, tell him to get out, check the tire, and then just take off. Leave him there.
Wait, you wouldn't get very far. You'd fucking crash into the next corner going 100 miles an hour.
Oh shit! I didn't know that was a hard ride up ahead.
I didn't know after this fucking blind turn here that it was a fucking cliff on the other side. Oh shit! Oh man.
But yeah, V Rally 4, I found the controls a little wonky. Maybe I just need to go back into it and tweak the setting a little bit more. But I'd rather just play Dirt 2.0. It's awesome.
Do it.
But moving on to your backwards compatibility game, you still get that sensible World of Soccer. I claim that game. Will I play it? No, but I claimed it. Get that. And over to your Xbox Game Pass featured game. I didn't check all the new stuff that was out this week, but I just know that DayZ's out, so I tried that out. It's downloaded. I'm going to play more of it. Check that out. Who knows, Mayo? Maybe I'll even get that Livonia. We could team up on the PC.
There you go.
But I'm playing over on the Hobo Xbox. And over to your Evil Epic Store, your free game. Free game for that is Death Becoming. Let's see what that game is. This is... Okay, so now you need that two-factor authenticity. So in order to claim your free games, I do own it now, but it is a linear puzzle game where you must harvest human souls, find destinations, style. However, pesky mortals are not your only problem, as the agents of light will do everything they can to stop you. So yeah, check that out over there on Epic Store. What else we got here? No free. No, well, there's nothing free on Steam that.
Yeah, I was just checking while you're kind of doing that there, and IAMS had posted in the Facebook group a couple of days ago that they had Ashes of Singularity free at one point, but it does not look like it's free anymore. So I think it was just a one-day thing or limited time thing. So by the time people hear the recording, it will not be in there. So
Okay. Oh, the other game I played that. Shout out to MechMod. I know that he spoke to the developer or somebody over at one of the studios that makes that game, Family Man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of blocky, but it almost has this like Minecraft look to it.
Feel right.
Yeah, but it's an adult game for sure. Like, I mean, there's not any nudity that I've seen, but it's very much like a mafia shooting. It's got some hand-to-hand combat to it.
Like the premises of this game was like, how far would you go to? I can't remember what it was. Was to save your family or something like that? Or what their thoughts? You owed them money, I think, is what it was, and you had to see how far you would go.
Yeah,
and how your family would react to you. And
this is the prologue, so it's probably I'm going to say you're probably playing this for 10 to 15 minutes at the most. So you're just getting. It's more of a demo. Think of it that way, because you only go so far. And I don't want to spoil like just how that kind of plays out, but basically you're inevitably, you're in trouble. And yeah, so you're going to go, the first thing you do is like when you get out in the town and it's like, the guy's like telling you like, yeah, you want to keep your family. You don't want to go to prison, do you? You work for me. In the meantime, you go work somewhere else. So you go in the town and some of the dialogue's pretty funny. Like you'll run into the town sheriff, and he's like, have a crime-free day. And then it's like, okay. Then you come up and you'll see like this burger joint. And it's like this young kid, and he's just like, yeah, you want to work by shift? It pays $50. It's exactly how much, you owe the crime boss, or the bad guys. So it's like, oh yeah, I guess I'll flip burgers, or you can just do other jobs. So I was like, oh man, I really wanted to see what would happen if I, flip burgers, steal money out of the cash register or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm definitely interested in this game. It's called Family Man. Check it out on the Steam. So, but I think that's it. I think we're over now to the question of the week. So Mayo, what is our question of the week for the community?
So our question the last week was, have you ever used a walkthrough or strategy guide for a game?
I own some strategy guides. You know which one I've probably used? I'd say the most. It wasn't Mass Effect 1 and 2, but Skyrim. I probably used that one more often. I think I used it more than I did like maybe, let's say, YouTube videos or some kind of online strategies, even though that was probably like a better option. But that was something where I really went deep into that book and just, checked everything out and see what tips and tricks and stuff. Anything for you, Mayo? Like, did you any strategy guides that you currently own or that you had?
No, I was never a strategy guide kind of kid or guy. Like, I always just wanted to figure it out myself. I can't think of any time I've ever owned a guide. I remember seeing them and just thinking it was funny that somebody would actually buy one. I just always thought, I'm like, oh, it's just part of the fun of the game for me was figuring it out. So seeing them in the store, I'm like, I get, people want to go through and see every aspect of the game, get their full money from it, I guess. But for myself, I always just wanted to explore the game and learn it on myself. And almost like Matt said earlier, like a natural platinum for him, just kind of naturally finding stuff and discovering stuff on your own. There's like a certain satisfaction with doing that.
Yeah, but just thinking specifically about like, I wanted to become a werewolf or something in Skyrim. Mm-hmm. And it was like, but it wasn't like something like I read before playing the game. It was more like I kind of would play the game, read it a little bit, and just like, I didn't, just be like, okay, how do I become like it? And what does it involve? And what are the benefits of it? Or what can I do? So it was just things like that and like where to go and what to do. So it was just a lot of fun. Anything for you, Jesus, as far as like strategy guides go?
I'm with you on Skyrim for sure. Skyrim is one of the games that I think I had that big ass fucking Bible looking book.
Yeah, that's the one I got.
And I never really I would use it for some things, but like I would say 98% of the game probably, I never even looked at it. I was just kind of exploring, fucking end up in random fucking quests. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As far as another game, I remember way back in the day when I was a kid, when I was like 12, maybe 13, when the first Hitman came out back on the Xbox original. I had the book for that game, for the first Hitman game, and like that book would show you how to do all the assassinations and like how to get the perfect endings, and that's truly how I learned how to really play the game really well, was learning from that book. You know, that book taught you like, okay, you need to pay attention to what people are saying, how the characters are moving, the patterns. You gotta learn the patterns of the NPCs to like throw off a guard or sneak past a guard or like sneak past these certain bodyguards and shit. And that's kind of how I fell in love with the series of Hitman. You know, speaking of Hitman earlier, because I that game would be hard for any fucking kid, but me having that book, I fucking figured it out. You know, that fucking book helped me out, and next thing you know, I beat the game like 14 times or whatever the fuck. I beat it so many times. It was ridiculous how many times I beat it, but ever since then, you know, like all the other new games, I think I bought the book for Absolution when I bought Absolution, because I bought that at GameStop and they offered me the book for like $5 or something. It was a discounted thing. You know, they do that sometimes at GameStop where you pre-order something and they'll be like, hey, do you want the fucking guide for $5 more or whatever the fuck? And I was just like, oh, fuck it, you know. And I remember looking at it once in a while, like glancing at it, but I didn't really give a fuck. I was like, if I need to find anything, I could just Google it. You know what I mean? You don't have to read a fucking book. You can just Google whatever the fuck you're looking for.
Yeah, because that's when I know that when I bought a 360, like even though I might have had a strategy guide, one or two there that were on the cheap that I probably did pick up used from GameStop. I mean, I wasn't a collector of any kind, but I remember just going on YouTube and pretty much you can almost find like any of the games that were coming out at that point where people were like, you know, how they would upload these videos, you know, and they were always like, how long were they? Like 20 minutes, I think was like the longest YouTube video you can have at the time. Yeah. And yeah, it wasn't like the YouTube of today, but for sure.
Yeah, it was, yeah. But yeah, when I was a kid, for sure though, man, I'm talking like original Xbox. That's when I played those first Hitman games. And yeah, that's when I've, you know, got these strategy guys and I found out about them really, and I started playing them. Other than that, before that, I would steal I don't know if you guys remember these. I don't know if you would consider them strategy guys, but they're really not. They're more like cheat books. You remember those books that they used to make back in the day that had like all the cheat codes in them for like every fucking game? They had them for like every game on the consoles. Like if you had any fucking game, really, you just fucking like search for the game from A through Z or whatever. And I remember those books as well, man. I remember having one of those, and that thing was fucking cool, man. Because, you know, you get like Grand Theft Auto 3 or some shit. You just go through the book and find all the cheat codes where you're like, infinite health, infinite guns, infinite this, infinite that. Just fucking spawn this car, spawn a tank, spawn that.
Yeah, oh my gosh. That was so much fun in GTA 2.
Yeah.
Gosh, I would just do hours of that in GTA 2. Just get in the tank. God mode.
Pretty much, even in Grand Theft Auto 3 or Vice City, I remember getting into the tank and just fucking drive through the whole town.
You'd still be alive in the burnout carcass of a tank. Yeah, that was so much fun. And I'd be like, what do I do? There's nothing I can do. I got to quit the game.
Yeah, and then so that was kind of like the OGG like first like strategy guys that I had was the stupid ass cheat code books too. Fucking cheat code books. Mayo probably was fucking in high school back then.
I was probably in high school back then when you were 12. I probably graduated when you were 12.
He was probably getting his first job at the gas station.
Yeah, fucking Mayo. You probably were graduated when I was 12. Damn it.
Gunny was buying alcohol for 12-year-olds.
Yeah. They were probably more like 16-year-olds that I was doing that.
Oh shit!
I remember the cop pulled me over one day in my car, and he's like, "I remember I was 21." He's like, pop the trunk. I was like, what? I just pulled up near my house. Pop the trunk. You know, I had the big old case of, Budweiser or Miller and Miller Genuine Draft. The big ones, right? The 32 can ones. And who's that for? I'm like, me. I'm 21. Yeah, you were buying it for those 16-year-olds, weren't you? I'm like, no, officer. So, anyway, moving on now. Answers here from Mandalorian, and he says that yes, he's used the guides multiple times for Hellblade, but just bits and pieces.
Nice.
Commander
Nips says, "Oh yeah, when I was playing Tomb Raider or God of War, fucking loser. What a loser. Uses it for Tomb Raider or God of War. What the fuck?
Eric, can't you just play through Tomb Raider?
Yeah, wow. Wow, Eric.
He's trying to find every collectible.
God. What a fucking... Damn. Be ashamed of yourself.
Utter confusion. He says, all I have to say is I used to play a ton of JRPGs and wanted to get that 100% completion, just like we were talking about. He said, thankfully, I dropped that extremely stressful habit.
Good.
So he just had that habit. Had to do it.
Had to get in the guide, and he probably had notes. Altered, I'm going to ask you later on your Discord. I'll ask him about that. But moving on to Nipron, he says, does looking up how to do raid encounters count? Yes, it does, Nipron. Sometimes as a team, we like to go into a raid with no guide, but we'll be there for 10 hours trying to figure out what the hell the big red button does. Yeah, I've seen that in Destiny. I'm like, what in the world are they doing? Definitely a strategy to it.
Mm-hmm.
Jedi of Light says, yes, strategy guides are great for expanded game information, not just a game walkthrough, but for things like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. He used every strategy guide walkthrough, wiki, and YouTube video I could find to get through those games.
Cool. Ghost Nico says, yes, the best strategy guides I've ever used were for Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5. The amount of Easter eggs found in a Kojima game is crazy, so it's fun to go back to these games with the guides to find them. And that is true, Ghost Nico. Fucking Kojima.
Yeah, I think I found it. Go ahead, man.
Oh, I was going to read Jeffrey Rittenauer. He says, absolutely. He says he used them for Lego games. He says, let me tell you that with a walkthrough, without the walkthrough, it was near impossible. Sometimes it'd be a little glitchy, and even through the walkthrough, tells you exactly how to get the gold brick and where it usually is. He says he'll play the story all the way through, but if you wanted the collectibles, there have been games that I've played through several times and have found like 90% of the collectibles. And it says you almost have to know exactly where they are.
Yeah, or exactly how to get them. I know that me and my son, when we play through those Lego games, like we were never... I mean, he would replay it just to kind of replay it, but I noticed my son's just like me, where he would kind of chase those gold bricks, like you had to work up to it, but yeah, they were tough to get in some of those games. Josh Boyd says Super Mario Brothers 3 or Super Mario 3. Yeah, I remember seeing guides for those. Richard Jimerson says Morrowind and Oblivion. Wouldn't you kind of need those back for those games? I mean, this is pre-Skyrim, so pre-YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be extremely helpful tools to have a strategy guide. And of course, Normie says, yes, I use them if I am stuck. She also has a question for us. She wants to know, is using a walkthrough a form of cheating? No, it's a guide. A guide, Normie. It's kind of like how you get on the forums in Animal Crossing to see how much the turnips are, right? To enhance your game, to make the game better, right?
Yep.
Maybe.
But I think that's all we have for our Q&A on this week's question of the week. Man, we haven't decided on a question for next week. Is that the one you're kind of pointing towards?
Yeah, I say we work on this one right here next.
So next week's question is, what's more important in a game? Is it action or story? Look forward to hearing your answers next week, folks.
Well, that depends on what kind of game we're talking about.
Oh, that's true. But I guess we would be talking specifically about a story game that has action.
So we're talking about a story action game?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll be putting that up in the Discord and the Facebook.
It's a very broad question, guys. You guys are coming up with very broad questions. I don't appreciate it.
We come up with a better one. That might change. If you want to change it, do you see anything else on the list? But I think we just had one other one up there. The other one I didn't much care for, so maybe we'll change it. So for you listeners out there, we might actually change it by the time it actually gets posted. But we'll definitely work more on that next week.
We'll go with that question, I guess. I don't make the question. Gunny, you're the one who makes the questions around here, all right? You're the guy who does. That's your job.
Me and the Mayo does.
He's the question guy. No,
he's the question guy from now on.
Out there.
So if the questions are bad, go off with Gunny. I got to an end. Find me.
Wait a minute.
Everything. What?
Hold on, Jesus. Hold on. You were saying something about my... No, this was Mayo talking about my list of PC build. What were you telling Jesus now, Mayo, about my PC build, this document that I showed you?
So we looked at some documents that Gunny was sent over, and we were talking about his PC build. And Gunny is going to build a PC with a super CPU. I'm going to call the thing a super CPU. How much was the CPU you were looking at putting in this computer, Gunny?
What was that thing like? Was it at least... What was it, like $1,200? I think it was.
It was $1,900, Gunny.
$1,900.
And what was you going to do with this PC that had a $1,900 CPU put in it?
Play Valorant. Play some Roblox.
You know, Valorant could be running a potato, right?
No, I know Jesus. You told Jesus this, and he was giving me a hard time. But no, this is for my son. So I
Why the hell does your son need a Threadripper, an AMD Threadripper?
32 cores.
I know, right? And he's over here playing Roblox.
He's playing Microsoft Flight Simulator with ultra settings, everything, controlling real life planes from his house with 32 cores.
Yeah,
just saying.
Give him a break. Yeah, give him a break. He's 14. It's his first time. Like, he plays on a laptop. He doesn't. He's not. Yeah. So. Thank you, Bear, for helping me work on that document. We'll probably end up changing everything on there before it's an actual good build. And who knows, I could probably duplicate that in the future for my next thing. But, Mail, he wants to be like us. He's got even the same Corsair case that we have.
Here's what I do, Gunny. This is what I would suggest you do, okay? So you build this new PC, then you give him your old one.
Yep.
And then you go from there.
Oh,
you got a new upgrade.
Shh. I didn't want to say anything, but he's gonna get the hand-me-down. So
yeah, that's what happens.
He doesn't need
the plan.
He doesn't need a new PC. He plays fucking Roblox and Minecraft. I mean, he's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, your PC would be great for what he wants to play on, and then you build yourself a new one, and then we're good.
Some 2080 Super up in that motherfucker, or 2080 Ti, yourself some 32 gigs of RAM, fucking...
Save on that Threadripper and put a 2080 Super in that thing.
I definitely got 32 gigs of RAM in there. That's on the list.
Yeah, so get like a bunch of other shit, get a nice cooler, some water cooling up in there, and fucking...
All the RGB ones.
That was one thing where we looked at RGB, whatever. He was like, "No, I don't want any flashy lights on there." I was like, "Oh, come on!
Whoa, no flashy lights."
No,
it's hard really nowadays to find stuff with less flashy lights, because if you start sticking with the major companies, all their stuff has flashy lights, or at least a vast majority of it does.
I mean, the one thing he got was RGB that was kind of cool was the motherboard.
Mm-hmm.
Which was a giant... No, I forgot the name of the manufacturer on that.
Gigabyte, maybe?
Gigabyte, that's it. So, yeah. Definitely work on that more this week, but I think now we are done. Where do we find you guys?
Oh, find me playing Cloudpunk. On Steam, it's Jesus Walks Lot. On everything else, I'm Jesus Walks Lot. Even on Oculus, if you are an Oculus VR user, add me on there, Jesus Walks Lot. On literally everything, I'm Jesus Walks Lot. Even PlayStation, Xbox. I haven't turned on my PS4 in a while. Should I go play something there?
I don't know.
What is there to play on the PS4?
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask you.
Final Fantasy? I don't want to play that though.
No,
that shit. No. Last of Us 2, I guess, when it comes out.
yeah, I can't think of anything else new that you haven't played already.
Yeah, whatever.
But guys, go find me.
Go ahead.
Go over to that Xbox, add me on Gunny Chief over on the Uplay store. Thanks to whoever added me on there. Appreciate it. I did follow you back, so we are friends now on the Uplay store. Over on the PSN, I am HGP Space Gunny. Twitter at Chief.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, where do we find you?
You're going to find me on Steam and Origin, and Uplay is the Mayo one. I think you're going to find me on Twitch now. I'm streaming a lot more often now as the Mayo 01. Then you're going to find me on Discord as the Mayo. And pretty much that's mainly about it. Just kind of hanging around those them areas there. And mainly the Discord is probably the easiest place to find me.
All right, well, you can find where to find Matt Bradford.
What did she say?
Peace out, Brussels sprouts. We'll catch you on the next week's edition of the Horrible Gamers Podcast. We're out of here. Goodbye. Good night. See you next fucking week.
Goodbye.